at the Easterling Correctional Facility. Shakazia Owens and LaShawn Lamar were found in possession of 4 cell phones, methamphetamines, marijuana, fentanyl, and synthetic cannabinoids. The two were attempting to place those items in the prison yard by way of a drone. The Steel City Smooth Jazz Festival is coming to Birmingham this weekend. Streets surrounding Lynn Park will be closed off for the event, which starts Friday and runs through Sunday. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
It's only one day only. PSC Equipment in Raymer is having their biggest clearance sale ever. They must make space for incoming new arrivals. Saturday, June 14th, no reasonable offer will be refused on all in-stock inventory. Cattle, horse, livestock, and equipment trailers by Good Guys, Viper, Duralite, and even a Rising enclosed trailers. Used tractors, new Solus tractors, industrial, commercial, and farming equipment, skid steers, excavators, side-by-side, and yes, we have on-site financing available. Plus, we not only sell, we buy and trade too. Be at PSC Equipment Saturday, June 14th for prizes including $500 cash, $500 store credit, even a family vacation, and they'll even feed you from the Choo Choo food trailer. One day and one day only. PSC Equipment's biggest clearance sale ever. Saturday, June 14th from 7:30 until the last customer is served. PSC Equipment, Troy Highway in Raymer, near Sykes & Kahn.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. Did you know the current national average turn time to close on a mortgage is 48 business days? But not at Alabama Home Mortgage. At Alabama Home Mortgage, our average close time is 16 business days. That's a month faster than the rest. How do we do it? With over 60 years of combined experience in the industry. Our team knows mortgages. Our years of experience yield a better experience for our customers. Folks, time is money. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, don't waste time with another mortgage company, bank, or credit union. We close on time, every time. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our fast turn time is just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's Conversational Radio Show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
We live in the southeast. We drink sweet tea. We don't drink socialist Kool-Aid.
Now you conduct yourself in a democracy.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program here. Lovely day out of Montgomery, Alabama. Trump and Elon Musk are having it out in public. We will get to that later. It's kind of crazy how they're having it out over what Trump calls the big beautiful bill, what Elon now, to his millions of followers, is calling the debt slavery bill. And man, they're going after one another like crazy. But first, we've got some local stuff to attend to. Yesterday, we got talking about what happened at the city council, and it led to another discussion yet again about Montgomery Whitewater. And the chairman of the Montgomery County Commission reached out. Doug Singleton is in the studio now. Doug, how you doing today?
Hey, doing good, Joy. Thank you for allowing me to come in. I know I called you yesterday, and I was pretty passionate about defending the Whitewater and defending our city and our county. So I appreciate you allowing me to come in.
Well, fair enough. I get why you're passionate about it because, well, this is something that you're leading on, I believe. And, you know, when I was looking into stuff last night, this really gets going in about 2019.
Actually started going. I was elected in 2016. And even before I was sworn into office, I was elected. This was brought to my attention. It took me about probably 3 or 4 years to get on board. But I finally got on board, and what put me kind of over from a no vote to a yes vote was meeting with the Maxwell officials and then meeting with Brian Stevenson at EJI. Mm-hmm. And for them to try to help convince me why this would be good for the city and for the county. The county took the lead at the time. The city might not have been in the same financial shape we were in at the time. We were in excellent shape, and we still are. But we took the lead on this project, working with the city. We had some great partners step up with us. The state of Alabama stepped up tremendously. Governor Ivey and Porch Creek Indians has helped us with some money. I think y'all talked about all that yesterday. So there's been some other groups that has helped us.
Well, and my understanding of this is what would be success? And I think the initial goal of this was twofold: a positive economic impact, especially from tourism. So if you're getting folks from out of town bringing in dollars that aren't normally here, and that's synergistic with something like EJI that's also bringing in tourism, that's a good thing. And then another prong of that, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, is to develop that area, to not only give people at Maxwell something to do, but that's right on their doorstep, have that whole area sort of drive local dollars to invest more there. And of course, this all comes down to how many folks show up in terms of the tourism, and then how many folks are, say, following on and investing in the area. What was the initial, say, projections and hopes of this thing?
Well, there was 4 things, Joey, that we took into consideration. One was Maxwell Air Force Base. 1.2 million visitors drive down Maxwell Boulevard every year. I would conservatively estimate that maybe half of them are going to Maxwell Air Force Base. In the past, they would ride by and they'd see the Salvation Army. They see homelessness. They see blighted properties. Now they see a beautiful park that's attached, butts up to the gates of Maxwell. The Maxwell officers and their families that live at Maxwell, now they can walk through the gate into Whitewater. If you go out there at any time in Whitewater, you're going to see a lot of younger ladies pushing the babies, walking the dogs. So Maxwell was a huge part of that. People say, well, I'm not going to sit here today and say that Whitewater will save Maxwell from BRAC. Department of Defense is going through that process now. It's a huge process. And anything we can do to help in quality of life at Maxwell Air Force Base, and I'm getting this from the generals out there, not Doug's opinion, quality of life is a huge thing. They look at quality of life. They look at public education, our struggles there, even though we're improving. They look at our hospital situation. There's no secret about Jackson Hospital and what they're doing to try to work through that. They look at crime and safety, and we all know there's a lot of work that needs to be done. So we provided great quality of life. We cleaned up that area. The second thing was the blighted property. You just talked about that. We were able to clean all that up. Somebody called in yesterday talking about the property values have skyrocketed. Yes, they have. And there's some other great things coming out there besides just what we're seeing today. The third thing was the economic impact. And I'm going to share some numbers maybe next segment with you on the economic impact of what Whitewater has done out there. And then the fourth thing is quality of life. We're trying to attract and retain young people, talented people like yourself to stay here. And all I've ever heard in Montgomery is what? There ain't nothing to do. Huntsville's got this. Mobile's got this. So, we had to do something to improve our quality of life.
So how much money are like everybody, all the players, the commission, the city, the state, say Porch Creek or anybody else, how much money are we in this for at this point?
Originally, it was going to be a cost around $50 million to construct the whole facility, 212 acres, with the restaurant, zip lines, the rafting, swift water, rope climb, everything that's involved out there. We started probably at the worst possible time you could start. We broke ground, started construction, COVID. And during that time, everything skyrocketed.
Yes.
Just ask the state of Alabama and the prisons, how the prisons have gone from millions to billions. The cost of goods, everything went up. So that was unfortunate that happened. So the cost of construction had doubled by the time we finished.
So it's about $90 million. And I know initially the state was going to try to put $25 million in from the ETF. That was pushed back on. It ended up being $5 million. Some of the leftover ARPA from the city, I believe.
Actually, the state ended up putting 18.
18.
And some of that was the 25. Yes, it got pushed back to 5. It got increased some, but the state had already put some in. So they had put 18 in. And
it was most of this money that everybody's put in, whether it's the land the city gave or the the bond y'all got through the commission, this is all to stand it up initially?
This is all for construction costs, yes.
Okay. And in terms of operating cost, I haven't seen the exact books. I've heard, though, that operating at a loss shy of $3 million, two and a half, three.
That's a fair assessment. About 2.5, and we knew that going into it. I would love for somebody to say, "Hey, Doug, I've got a business that is going to make money the first 6 months, the first year, the first 2 years. If you got a business out there that's going to make money in the first 3 years, please call me off the air. I want to invest in that." Dr. Bronner invested money in RSA. On those golf courses. They didn't make money the first year, second year, third year. Had a conversation this weekend with Will Wilson. Will Wilson said, "Hey, Doug, I've never had a business make money in the first 3 years. We've got a financial plan that we're working on. We knew this going into it that was going to cost us some operating cost. Ideally, the construction cost wouldn't have been so high. We'd been in pretty good shape. But yes, we're cutting that down. This year we're already up. Revenues are already up by 50% over last year. So that $2.53 million deficit, wherever you want it to fall, if the revenues come up, that's going to take about half of that away. We also have made it a lot more efficient. We've gone out like any business would do. We've gone out and we're making some changes, and we're going to make it much more efficient. And I've gotten involved with that. I'm not trying to run Whitewater. I'm just trying to help.
Right.
It's a volunteer to help. So we have a plan. And, we're started our second season now. July the 8th will be 2 years we'll be in running. I'm hoping, and my projections are by 2027, 21st or 28th, then we will be close to being self-sufficient there. I knew going into it, Joy, we were never going to make money with this. No way. I knew that. I argued that with everybody that tried to tell me, yes, this can be profitable, this can make money. But I wasn't concerned as much with making money. It was the quality of life. If I can retain Maxwell, our largest employer, and keep them here and help do that. And again, I'll share some economic impact stuff on your next session, but quality of life. If I can just do those things, it's well worth the investment.
So so you have the operation cost, the shortfall there. If revenues go up, that shortfall isn't as bad. You also have the yearly bond payment, I'd imagine.
That's fine. That's right. Been covered. We had no problem with that. We've actually surpassed in collections on that, so we're good there. Okay,
so if whatever the shortfall ends up being, who does that fall on, that cost?
At the end of the day, it falls on the county.
Okay, and so I was looking at it.
It falls on the cooperative district.
Okay,
but the cooperative district don't generate money. It's the cooperative district, that's the entity that handles it.
Well, and I was looking at other things like the Biscuit Stadium, the zoo, and many of the parks. And I know you have experience with the parks around here.
Yeah, youth ballparks,
right? They
don't make any money. The zoo don't make any money. Museum, right. Shakespeare, we can't close everything.
So if, let's say, it's with the bond payment and the operating shortfall, it's like we have another zoo that we're funding. In terms of long-term funding, because I know it's politically fraught to have to constantly go to the city council, work deals with them or the state. Is there a way to get more private players involved with the cooperative district? And what's sort of the long-term plan? You're saying maybe we can get to even or even profitable, or is there maybe the idea of just use this as a catalyst to go even bigger and bolder, attract more private investment to there?
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of things happen out there over the next 6 to 12 months. Very, very close to a hotel. We actually have the agreements in place, just getting it finalized, that will be on campus. Huge thing for Maxwell Air Force Base. They're thrilled about being able to bring their officers in, their families in, and have a hotel that's going to overlook Maxwell. You'll be able to go up to the top of the balcony, overlook Whitewater, the river. So that's in place. We've got many inquiries about doing a restaurant out front in the old Chapel House. There's a couple of other things that we're looking at that I really can't say yet, but pretty exciting things dealing with the Air Force on that property. They want to be there on a piece of our property. There's a lot of great things happening. And when those kind of things happen across the street, some guy called me yesterday talking about his property had increased so much over there. That's going to be a boom across the street. And I can vision shopping. I can vision life. I can vision Chick-fil-A, stuff like that.
Well, and because I don't want to try to contradict any facts, I might contradict aspirations because I was looking at what the Dharavi economic impact report that it'll bring 300,000 people a year and
that's a Chamber of Commerce
right.
report.
That's a big, and when I looked at that, I'm like, yeah, that's wishful thinking. So it sounds like to me, the worst case scenario is people start talking about having to raise taxes or it's eating into
We're
reserves.
not raising taxes.
Okay. So that's just off the
End of the day.
We
Don't
ain't
worry
doing
about that.
Okay. And so your best case scenario is this starts to not only the park itself is sufficient, but it is creating this economic multiplier. And we do long segments here. So let's talk about the economic impact.
Yeah. I mean, again, I want to get, because I got in the car, I want to make sure I get all those facts for it. I got all that in the car. I'm going to come back in next. But just the economic impact of people coming to Montgomery, and I mentioned Brian Stevenson, EJ, I've been a tremendous success, and Brian Stevenson has put so much investment in Montgomery, and I'm so thankful for everything he is doing. He has brought million people, visitors here. And I had the conversation with Brian. I said, Brian, Whitewater, will they come to Whitewater that come to you, same clientele? And he said, yes, they will. And if you can get them to stay one more night here, come to EJI on Friday, spend the night, stay on Saturday. That's impact that you really can't go out there and just put a number on because they don't go through the gate and use a credit card, but they stay in the hotels, they shop, they buy gas here. That kind of stuff, you can't put a number on that. And so I can't sit here and try to tell you exactly what the impact directly from Montgomery Water being here, but I can tell you that the economic impact of industry coming here, I can share those with you, and I will do that again next segment.
Okay.
When I have my facts in front of me a little bit. I should have brought them in, but I forgot it.
Oh, that's fair. Well, and there is a lot of investment in and around the city, and one thing as we get into the next segment, if you have the time, I'd love to talk about the broader picture of the area. I brought this up with the mayor. I look at like we are primed for investment in many different ways. And I think this is to all sorts of decisions that have been made over the years, like the internet exchange. The Switch Hub is a huge deal that happened, in 2015? Very big deal.
We're the only one that has it.
Right. And so when Meta is setting something up, that's a very big deal. I know there are tax abatements. There's all sorts of incentives. So there have been a lot of good moves to bring investment in different types of work and, say, enterprise here to the area. But when I look at, say, the long run, how do we keep this ball rolling, especially if you have issues with schools and crime? So it's like, if we're primed for investment, a lot of these folks talk about quality of life, would love to send their kid to a high quality public school. They would like to feel, safe in certain neighborhoods. Now, I'm born and raised here. I don't necessarily feel unsafe as I go about my day in Montgomery, but any sort of sentiment out there, perception can really drive the car here. So we can get into that as we talk the broader economic impact in the next segment. I'm just wondering, I'll put it this way. I started off skeptical with this, maybe as you started off skeptical with this, because I was like, it's going to be over budget. You got to wonder.
Well, we didn't know it was going to be over budget when we started, but it has been.
I just assume most government projects are over budget.
Yeah.
And I think it's usually a pretty safe assumption. And when I see the sort of cooperative district model, which I looked into last night, it's a very, it's a popular thing, I guess, around the nation.
Taxes.
And it makes sense because you're using a bit of government incentive to bring more private investment. But I also see something like that and go, well, who's getting paid here? And I'm not even accusing people of doing anything illegal. It's just, I on an outsider looking in, my cynical, skeptical side crops up. And as I saw the cost overruns, it just got me worried. Okay, what's the long-term plan here? And so as we flesh this out, what you've already mentioned it a little bit. What is the long-term plan? And does it take away from things like crime and education money that could be spent there? And my general framework is this: like, you need a park is like sprinkles on top of, and the cherry on top of a sundae, which is a lot of people want cherry and sprinkles on their sundae if they're ever going to get one, but you need that ice cream, you need that base. So parks to me are like these amenities that are very good at up quality of life. People at Maxwell, people at Meta might very much enjoy it. Locals might very much enjoy it. But do you have that underlying, say, profitable enterprise tax base that can drive this car even more so? And when I look at, say, comparisons to Charlotte, Charlotte is much bigger, let's say, Sunday for all the cherries on top. Central Park costs New York City a lot, but they've got the economic.
Have you ever been to the Whitewater Park at Charlotte?
I have not.
It's 30 minutes from nowhere. I mean, you fly in, and I went. Honestly, you pass maybe one. Back then, it was fairly new. You pass like one gas station. I'm serious. It's 30 minutes from downtown. It's not in. You say Charlotte. It's It's out in the woods.
Well, I have an aunt and uncle live in some high rise in Charlotte.
Yeah, it's not.
I walked downtown and
you
stuff.
You can't see a high rise from Whitewater anywhere close to it. You had mentioned a lot of stuff, and I'm trying to remember. I should have wrote everything down because I'm not quite sure what your question was. But I will say this: when the city talked about building Riverwalk Stadium, I was real involved in youth baseball. I was a youth baseball guy, probably Emory Farmer guy, and I thought that's the biggest waste of money. That is so stupid to invest all that money into a minor league baseball stadium. Boy, was I wrong. And I'm so glad I was wrong. But I was against it, wrong. I was wrong. You see what it's done to downtown. It has saved downtown Montgomery. It's revitalized downtown Montgomery. I'm not going to say Whitewater is going to revitalize anything, but it's going to revitalize that area out there. But there's a lot of things I do want to share with you, and we'll go through them.
Well, yeah, we'll hit a break. And one really question, I'm just kind of putting my cards on the table, and I think we need sprinkles on top of our sundae. We need sprinkles on top of the donut. You need to sweeten it. We need quality of life, but you need that underlying thing as well. And if we're doing both, awesome. And if you get that sweet spot where it's sort of, there's a synergy where they're both working together, that's even better.
We'll talk about crime because you brought that up. Yeah.
Well, let's hit this quick break.
Public etiquette. Okay.
We'll be right back. More with Commissioner Singleton after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Pizza Perfect is knocking it out of the park in June. This month, get $2 off any medium pizza and $4 off any large. Now, that's what I call a deal. Pizza Perfect is known for their all-you-can-eat buffet that includes pizza as well as spaghetti, breadsticks, salad, dessert, and drink for only $13. The buffet is available Monday through Saturday for lunch, and they're open for dinner on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. For a to-go or takeout order, call 244-7721. Pizza Perfect in Eastbrook.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the Mirror Fast soft shoes, smart move.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirror Fast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, Carol.
From the makers of Miralax, new Mirafast soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Find Mirafast today at your local retailer. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
This is Secret Clinical dominating extra stinky stress sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. Oh, what a beautiful day. This is regular deodorant. Ugh, I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. Let's run another marathon. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT because nothing fights sweat better. Stay fresher under pressure.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. At PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call, Scott Bowers and PBS Painting. 294-5122. That's PBS Painting. 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We're getting into a very typical summertime pattern that's going to seem more and more repetitive. Partial sunshine today with increasing humidity. And once again today, pop-up showers and storms in the afternoon and evening hours. They will be random and it'll be feast or famine. Some neighborhoods get drenched, others stay completely dry. High temperatures today and tomorrow in the upper 80s at least. Lows at night will be around 70, lots of humidity. Then over the weekend, the number of storms actually increases. They will still be random, but your probability of seeing one is better Saturday and Sunday, and also Monday. Some of the storms strong to severe, especially on Saturday with a level 2 severe weather risk. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At CB&S Bank, we've been meeting the needs of our customers since 1906. Need help setting up new business goals? Our line of commercial loans can help you achieve them. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Again, here in the studio with me. Good getting to know you. I don't think we've ever met before. We have Doug Singleton.
You never invited me to be on your show.
I'm shy.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
No, I really am. I believe you me. So I'm glad you reached out.
I'm kind of glad, I try not to, get on the show because I'll get so much criticism when I get off for what I say sometimes. But, I want people to be informed.
Well, that's all right. I mean, that's part of the job, right?
Part of the job. Joey, you had asked about the 4 things. We talked about the Maxwell and being able to solidify that relationship with Maxwell to make sure we don't lose missions. People say, you ain't never going to lose Maxwell. But if you lose the missions, you lose Maxwell. So just to guarantee, we already had the situation, y'all very much aware of a officer training school. People coming, don't bring their families anymore. So hopefully Whitewater is going to help to encourage them to bring the families. But again, you talk about the root stuff, the education. If education's horrible and crime's horrible, no matter how nice a Whitewater Park is, they're not going to come to that. And then we talked about the blighted property, what we're doing out there. We talked about quality of life and then economic impact. I just want to touch on that for a second. Sure. Y'all all aware of the economic impact and the success we've had in the past 3 or 4 years. Now, I'm talking about millions, I'm talking about billions. I think it's 4.2 billion in the past 3 or 4 years that we've had companies coming to Montgomery. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you today they all came because of Whitewater. Kind of coincidental. It kind of happened all the time. So I'm going to take a little credit for it, but it's really the credit goes to our forefathers, Richard Hannon, the Emory Farmers, the Bill Josephs, the John Knights, Alvin Holmes. The leaders here in Montgomery years ago went out to this area out on West Montgomery off the interstate where Hyundai is now, and they put in infrastructure, put in water, sewers, gas, all the stuff that's needed to attract these companies. We're living off of that now. We're living off the fact that we got 2 interstates that cross.
Yes.
That's a huge part of it. We're centrally located in the state of Alabama. That helps. But the biggest thing that's really helped is Governor Ivey and the commitment from the State Department of Commerce. Y'all mentioned Ellen McNair yesterday. She's secretary of that. What they did to help the city and the county with all this development, we could never pay them back for what they've done. City and county put nothing towards Meta. Nothing. No dollars at all. The state stepped up with an astronomical amount to attract Meta. Speaking of Meta and Whitewater, let me share this story with you. I met 3 times. There was 3 meetings with Meta. They always met at Whitewater. Mm-hmm. They met when there was nothing but dirt. And they met when it was under construction. And they came back and asked the governor, we want to announce at Whitewater. I'm not saying Meta came because of Whitewater, but when I met them the first time, they came out on a bus on the campus of Whitewater. It was under construction, dust, everything. I got on the bus with them, and there was about 12 to 15 people your age. Joey, you'd have been a senior member of that group probably, as young as you are. They never said, only thing I ever knew the names was Joey and Bill and Eddie and Susie and Tammy. Never told me the last name. They never even told me who they worked with, where they were there. But they wanted to see Whitewater. And when they came back, they wanted to come back to Whitewater. So I think it had effect with that. Yeah. Let's talk about Mana, Diageo, 1.1 billion economic impact over nearly 400 jobs. And these are high paying. That's the thing. You know, we're trying to attract high paying jobs, not just jobs, right? Not just hourly jobs. These are start at 70, average above 70 in salary. The number 2 guy in charge, when I was with the Coca-Cola company in Montgomery, he was with Coca in Atlanta. We were in a lot of meetings together. Great guy. The owner of the company, Junior Bridgman, just passed away. I don't know if y'all had heard that, but he had passed away about 2 months ago. But his number 2 guy was a guy that I met and enjoyed getting to see again in reunion. He called me on a Friday night to tell me that he was coming to Montgomery. They got down to 2 companies, us and somebody in Texas, 2 cities, Montgomery and somebody in Texas. Mm-hmm. And he told me straight to my face, he said, Doug, when it came down to the end, y'all were so closely matched together. He said Whitewater was a deciding factor. I'm not saying Whitewater is responsible for all this economic development, but if it brings a Meta to Montgomery, and Meta is going to be a gift like Hyundai is, that just keeps on giving. They replenish, you know, we was talking during the break, they replenish all of their equipment every 3 years. They don't have old computers out there and old laptops and servers. It's going to be a gift that keeps giving in sales tax dollars that we're going to continue. Just to go down some of the things that we've gotten in the past 3 or 4 years, the Montgomery Intermodal facility, huge thing that's going to happen where the containers come up here on rails and then it's shipped out. We need the outer loop to make sure we can get the stuff out. That's another topic, another subject. We talked about Diageo, Mana, Amazon, 100 million capital investment, 500 jobs, Mobus, another 400 jobs. HMMA just continues, Hyundai continues to give back to us and expand. 3.3 billion investment and another 4,000 jobs. Meta, we talked about Meta, 150 jobs. FedEx, Hyundai Trans. I mean, all of this is happening out there. Some great things are happening. People still want to come to Montgomery. Everybody talks about, hey, nobody wants to be in Montgomery. These companies want to come here. Right. And there's so much opportunity. We got to have the workforce to provide the jobs for them.
Well, and I think just giving you back what you just said, Meta is looking at the internet exchange. They're looking at a lot of the infrastructure you talked about. Mana's looking at, like, this is great for Southeastern distribution, it simplifies their supply chain. And the cherry on top or the sprinkles on top can be an incentive. People like that sort of thing. My only question was, okay, the cherry here, the park exists. So it's like, that's not going anywhere. I'm just hoping it doesn't become too expensive of a cherry and it actually becomes something that is a bit of a catalyst that works alongside everything you just mentioned.
And you mentioned Dr. Darabi. He met and he presented the numbers you're talking about. And I asked him during the meeting, I said, Dr. Darabi, would you invest, if you had $50 million of private money, would you invest in Montgomery Whitewater? And I was thinking he's probably going to try to give me the selling pitch, and say, oh, yes, great deal. And he said, no, Doug, I would not do that. And I said, well, thank you, because if you did, I was going to lose all confidence in you. He said, but publicly, and you take into effect Maxwell, you take into effect the economic impact this thing's going to bring. I never believed 300 cars and all that stuff was going to stop. He said quality of life and what it's going to spew around it. Yes, it's a good investment for government dollars to invest back into your county.
Are we already seeing the returns, or are we going to see the returns down the road?
I think we're seeing returns now because, a lot of people say, well, ain't nobody out there. Had 180 Air Force people out there on Tuesday rafting with their families. We've had Olympic trials out there. Never had in Alabama. And there's numbers of different things. We got Olympic athletes out there from all over the world. We're known around the world now for having that finest outdoor recreational facility. Time Magazine, top 50 places in the world to visit. I just got back from an awards ceremony in Washington where Montgomery Whitewater was one of the top engineering projects in the United States last year or 2 years ago when it was built. Just award after award has come into us. Innovate Alabama. I could just keep going on and on about the different things that is hell. Bottom line, we got to do something here. We can't just keep sitting on our thumbs and saying, well, we ain't got nothing. We don't do nothing. Huntsville's passed us by. Mobile's passed us by. It's time for us to do something. And again, if Whitewater don't ever make another dime coming through the gates, and it costs me, $100,000 or $500,000 a year to keep the gates open and keep operating expenses. But if I just keep Maxwell here, paid for itself. It's already paid for itself with economic impact. It's paid for itself with the companies coming in here and the tax dollars we're generating. You don't see those go through the gate. It don't go on the bottom line, but those things are out there.
Yeah, I don't know how much I would credit the park itself with how much of that portion of the billions we just laid out from these companies.
Again, I didn't either.
And that's fair.
Yeah, I was fair.
And so going forward, I think, and you could say Dharavi, you could look at his multiplier when we get into all the methodology, but I think the figure I saw is you need about 64,000, say, tourists a year, and you get about a $6 million impact, which is covering that shortfall.
That's still that's if you just depend on tourists coming through the gates.
Right.
Need sponsorships. Group sales is a huge thing. And we've got a brand new general manager. He's been there about a month. I'll be perfectly honest. I never met him before. I wasn't in favor of him being the person. I wanted a business person in the role. His resume was really, really good, but not business related as much. But after meeting with him and talking with him, working with him now, I'm completely sold. We got the right guy. I feel very good about him. He's making some tough decisions. He's making some good decisions. And we're going to get this thing. I'm not going to say we're going to make money. But we're going to get it close.
It won't be, $2.5, $3 million?
No.
Shortfall.
No, it's going down.
Tighten that up.
It's tightening up every year. We've already been able to tighten it up in the first 2 months that we've really been open season already. And we're going to continue to tighten it up. But if I start closing county entities that don't make money, then I ain't gonna have a park.
Right.
I mean, I'm gonna quit giving to Shakespeare. I'm gonna quit giving to the museum. The zoo's gonna close. I mean, there's a lot of things that you do that if you just pull a bottom line P&L, you say that's not a good thing to do. But if you look at the entire picture.
Now, I'm asking this to purposely be provocative, but I think it gets to the point of a bigger discussion about crime and education. What if the city and the county made a trade? The city takes over the schools and the county takes over, say, metro policing.
We don't have schools.
The county school board does, right?
Yeah. It's just called Montgomery County Board of Education.
Right.
Has nothing to do with Montgomery County Commission. We have no authority, no more authority than you have to go down there today and tell them what to do. We do provide funding sources. We provide $108 million last year in local taxes. That was the property tax. Ad valorem taxes just went up. It increased $42 million from 23 to 24 when the public went out and voted to do that. And then we started in 2014. The county commission, I was not on it at the time, voted to take 1 cent of our sales tax. We collect 2.5 cents. We take 1 cent, basically 40% of our sales tax, and we give it to public education.
Right.
Of course, it goes to MPS and Pike Road now. So that generates another about $40 million between the two. So the county's been very supportive of public education. We have no authority, none at all, no more than you do, Joey.
Right.
It's just called a Montgomery County public school system. I know there's been some talk about making it a city school system. Right. I'm not in that talk. I'm not involved in that.
What do you think of, say, a more metro area policing instead of MPD and the sheriff department?
I would love metro policing. Now,
I like the idea of an elected sheriff kind of being your point person.
I would love that. I would love that. A couple of things on that. One, Mayor Reed would probably not be in favor of that.
I'd imagine
but
not.
Mayor Strange would not be in favor of
right,
that. Mayor Farmer would not.
Right.
Mayor Bright. That nothing against Stephen Reed. He would be just like the rest of them, probably not in favor of that. And the second thing, I work with Derek Cunningham every day. There's not a better sheriff in this country, period. Republican or Democrat, I don't care what you are. He is the best. And Derek Cunningham's going to do it his way. as the commission supplies all the funding and support we can for him, and we stay out of his way. If I tried to get in his way, he'd have some choice words for me to get out of his way, so I don't. We have a good conversation every morning around 6 o'clock. He normally fusses at me at that time, and then the rest of the day he leaves me alone. But I would love to see that just because we got the right guy. And I will say for the past year and a half, 2 years, maybe a little less than 2 years, Derek, with the support of the county commission, has spent about $600,000 in overtime pay patrolling inside the city limits. You saw a lot, especially around the holidays, stuff like East Chase, stuff like that. Is overtime money. You know, I told Derek, we will do this, and the commission agreed with us. We'll do this, but we're not going to sacrifice the county unincorporated areas. We're not going to pull deputies from there, and we have not, because there's hardly no crime in the county. I wish you could. I need to send you the crime report. The Corey,
right?
It looks like Mayberry, man. Somebody stole a lawnmower out of a garage, and stuff like that. But very little crime out in the county. So Derek does a wonderful job. But nobody's gonna tell Derek what, and they don't need to tell. I've never been a sheriff. I've never had any law enforcement. I can't tell Derek Cunningham how to run it, and nobody else can. He does it the best.
So in the broader idea of, I worry that, for instance, if we don't get, say, crime within the city and education in the public schools much better than they currently are, you might still have more investment because we do have this infrastructure, but it won't be just like the data centers and a lot of jobs, as you just said. We might get more stuff like that, but you're not going to get the stuff that brings a lot of people in terms of jobs who are living here and I'd imagine the folks at Maxwell will be like, well, we'll just keep our own school thing going here. Or I worry also about folks that move to the area to work, but they don't live within the county.
That is a huge thing. I think somebody had told me about 60% they work here, don't live here. And that's a huge concern. And again, a lot of it goes to public education, and we got to get that better. You know, a lot of people, there was flight out to go to Elmore County schools, Autauga County schools, Lee County schools, Pike Road getting their own school system. They at least kept some of them in Montgomery County. But we got to have good public education, just like public safety and hospitals.
And sorry to interrupt there. I think I saw that you were not very happy with the superintendent search, along with a lot of other
things. That's not quite true, Joey. I was not involved.
Okay.
I stayed out of that. I did meet with the leadership of MPS about February, and I told them then, I'm not getting involved in y'all's choice. That is your choice. That's your board. And I don't want to get involved in that. I fully supported Melvin Brown, as if the community did, the children did, business community, and a 7-0 unanimous vote for him to be superintendent. And I told them, I said, regardless of who you pick, and I think you already know who you're going to pick. And they said, no, we're not. But I was right on this one. Very rare. But I said, you got to give them the support and give them the resources and stay out of the way. I've never been a superintendent. I got a bachelor's degree in education, but that don't make me qualified to be a superintendent. Go out. Your job is to get the best you can find, give them the resources and support, and stay out of his way and let them do their job. And that's the only thing I ask the school board.
We got time? Are you going to take some of these calls rolling in?
Yeah, I can stay to about 12:10. Maybe I got a 1:30 meeting without it.
Okay, cool. Well, let's go to line one. You're on there. You're on with Commissioner Singleton.
Good morning, Joey. You got the slickest man since Slick Willie on the radio today.
Oh, that's my buddy, Don Lowry. My buddy. How you doing?
Yeah, you put my name out there, Doug.
Well, that's who you are.
Why? You going see? He's going to overtalk me, and I won't be able to talk. That's why he's so slick. Montgomery Whitewater was built on lies to begin with. Doug Singleton said it was going to cost you $40 million. He got he took tax money from equipment rentals. He said that would pay for it. Then they knew automatically. The last mayor knew that this thing was going to be over $80 million. They put it out for bid. No one would bid it. Then Doug Singleton lied and said Jesco was going to come do it for a flat fee. I said, let me see the agreement on that. And right there in the agreement, it was a cost plus deal. He lied on that. He won't tell you how much it's cost today. He said something about $100,000. It's costing $3 million a year. He talked about how 160 people come last week from the airport. They came because they give it to them free. These people come in here for free. They're doing everything in the world to try to build somebody up out there. He listed a magazine that named that 50th in the nation. Look at the magazine. Right under it says advertisement. I'm down in Destin, Florida. They're paying to get people to come off the ocean and free to go up to that ditch up there. It's all on lies. I asked him to give you. Here's another one. They did a no bid contract. Tell him, why did we pay out $4 million to a contractor?
Okay.
Steal it.
All right. You want him to respond?
Yeah, let him.
Are you ready
But he
now?
won't. He'll go to something else.
All right. First, you said there was no bid. Nobody bid on it. Brassfield Gorey bid on it. Jesco bid on it. That's your.
And it wasn't acceptable, right?
No.
That's why you went to Jesco.
Wait a minute. Now we chose one of the two. They both were acceptable. Exceptional companies. We had two great bidders. So what would you, your next thing was? Next thing was.
Did Jesco do cost plus?
Yes. Every contractor does
so
cost
you lied
plus.
about the bid already. Just how much did you pay them out?
We paid them to finish the job.
How much?
It came out about total cost was around $90 million.
How much did you pay Jesco?
Well, they were the contractor, general contractor, managing contractor. So we paid them, and then they paid the subcontractors.
I asked you a fee, not you paid them. I asked you how much you
We paid them the normal fee they paid that they normally charge for everybody to do construction.
He won't tell you the truth.
I mean,
about
they're not
Joey.
Jesco and Brassfield
Before me,
Gorey is not a non-profit corporation.
Pay that out.
How
Why'd
much?
you pay out the $4 million in a lawsuit?
Who did we pay or what did we pay?
Come on, man, see, that's a liar. He knows
One
this
of
is
the
$4 million
one of the
he is the biggest liar.
Okay, Don.
Hey, and all
All
those
right.
people that come to Maxwell, do they care more about Whitewater or 2/3 of the kids in school can't read and write?
well, they probably care more about the public education than they
Did
do
those
Whitewater.
160 people pay to come to that park last week?
Yes, they did. The 170 they rafted.
How much?
They paid $49 a day to get a rafting fee.
That's baloney. You know that people ain't paid. You didn't get 160 people come out there and pay.
Well, that's
Watch this, kid.
So,
Tell us this-
Don, we went over some of the stuff you brought up. So, do you think this will continue to cost more, $3 million, if not more?
$3 million a year.
Right now, that's the
money
shortfall. I
paying
agree.
off
Do you
the
think that
bond.
will continue into the future?
Nobody's going to it, Joey.
Okay, so
They
do you
had to
think
put
the
on
answer is
free
yes? I'm
sponsors to
just
get
asking a
anybody to
question.
go out there.
All right.
yeah. Have you been out there, Don?
Yes, I've been out.
I know
plenty
you
times
have. You
to
said
get by
nobody.
myself
Are you a
once or
nobody?
twice. Huh?
Are you a nobody?
Yeah,
You
I'm
said
a
nobody.
nobody.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a nobody. Call me names, but I'm not a
All
liar
nobody.
like you are, Doug.
All right, Don.
I
Appreciate
Hey,
the time.
Joey, this guy, we go back and forth all day texting. I love texting with him. I laugh. He makes my day. I love listening to him. He's called me some. Lord, I wish I could tell you some of the names he's called me.
In the middle of all the hostility, I did sense some familiarity.
Oh, I
Let's-
love him, man. He's a great guy. He's real concerned. Unfortunately, when Don passes away and they bury him out in the cemetery, that's going to be the richest place in the world because he's going to take all these great ideas he has with him because he won't share them with me.
Now, I mean, for me, here, my bottom line is it's either going to work or it's not. It's either going to cost $3 million again or more or less. I can't contradict the facts, but I can contradict the aspiration.
Yeah, it's going to cost money to keep it operating, but it's going down every year. I mean, simple business tells you you got two ways to do it.
Yeah.
You got to raise your revenues, lower your costs, and ideally you try to do both until you get to that point. Then you can raise your cost some, but because your revenue continues to raise.
Is there a long-term, say, cost-sharing idea? Like we're expecting these sort of costs. We need to get people on.
I've got it all on a spreadsheet.
Like a 10-year thing?
No, but I got a 5-year.
5-year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I knew we're in year 3 now, and we're projecting where we thought we were going to be. Again, folks, you're not going to, we ain't going to, the goal is not to make money, and we keep talking about it's got to make money. It don't have to make money to be successful. It's already been successful, but we got a plan, and it's going down every year. We're not there yet, but we're getting there.
Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, it's Special K.
Hey, Special K.
Now, listen, I'm going to commend Mr. Singleton because, being a leader means doing things that are not necessarily agreeable with everybody. And I believe that we need things to bring more things into this city besides the past, race. Everything we bring here, that we make it a tourist attraction about what one group of people did to another group of people.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you, while you out there in that water, you probably ain't thinking about what color that person is and what happened in 1962. Those things happen. We can't undo it. But the best way we can get over it is to aim our attention on the things that make us a family and make us a community. And I'm all for this thing, and I don't even swim that much, even though I was stationed in Pearl Harbor.
Well, I appreciate it, Special K. I've got a few others rolling in here. Thanks, man. Let's go to line 4. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Joe, it's Kevin Murphy. How are you?
Hey, Kevin Murphy. I'm great. How you doing?
Good. Hey, I just want to commend Chairman Singleton. He and Sheriff Cunningham are very close. A lot of mornings when I'm walking in the door, Sheriff's on the phone with him, but they're always talking strategic planning, and Chairman Singleton is such a huge supporter of public safety and the Sheriff's office, and I just want to commend him, pat him on the back, because he's always been very supportive of us.
Kevin, I appreciate that. You weren't at the meeting Tuesday, but are you familiar with the grant application the Sheriff asked the Commission to approve?
Oh, yes, sir. I watch all the meetings.
Because Joey wants to know about crime and what we're doing. Can you share that with him? You mind sharing that?
Yeah, we received a federal grant. The commission actually waived rules and are putting on a speed track. We're going to hire 10 more deputies. Going to augment the sheriff's office. It's a really great opportunity. This concept actually began in the Clinton administration, and it's gone through the years. It's still alive today. They offer this to counties and municipalities to supplement their manpower, their staffing. And we're taking advantage of it. The commission was on board with it. We're about to hire 10 more deputies. The sheriff's going to deploy them into the areas of the city and the county where the needs greatest.
And they're actually going to be dedicated mostly inside the city limits.
Yes, sir, for the most part.
And, Kevin, anytime you get a grant, the grant pays for the salaries. We still going to have to pay a lot of benefits. We got to get them a car. We got to get them equipped, all that stuff. It's a 6-year commitment. It's not just, they do it for 3 years. We got to pick it up the next 3 years entirely. So it's a pretty big, around $6.8, $6.9 million commitment from the county to patrol inside the city limits.
Well, and Kevin, we're overdue to have you on there once again, like here in the studio. So let's do that. I'll text with you and we'll set that up.
Sure. Well, hey, again, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Kevin, for your service.
And let's keep rolling through some of these. Let's go to line 5. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, there's John.
Hey, John.
Hey there. Thank you for making yourself available to us, Commissioner. We appreciate it, and we appreciate your time. You answered one of my biggest questions, which was how do we increase the number of officers in this city, and I would be perfectly okay with an additional half-cent sales tax in order to increase patrolmen, because we need it for safety, and that's the only way we're going to be able to maintain quality business is through safety. But nobody has addressed infrastructure. This city has been run down slowly over the last 15 to 20 years, and I'm going to hang up and listen to you about how to address infrastructure and how to make the city safer with more foot patrol officers. Thank you.
I don't know if money for law enforcement is the answer. We've raised salaries. The city has raised salaries for police department. I know the city is struggling trying to get police to join. Yeah. They're doing everything they can to recruit. You get some recruits in, and then you have retirements or whatever. Fortunately, and I can't speak for the city, but I know Chief Grayboys is doing everything he can. He's working as hard as he can. The county's just willing to step up and help the city, because we feel like the city would step up and help us if the roles were reversed. And the city of Montgomery's inside the I'm told many times, remind me the city of Montgomery is like Pike Road's inside the city county lines. So we're doing that to step up and help. I can just speak about the sheriff's department, but it's so well run that we have, I think Derek has about 80 on a waiting list that wants to come work for him and work for our Kevin Murphy and our leadership there. Derek has done a wonderful job of surrounding himself with people like Kevin Murphy, Wesley Richardson, and his entire leadership staff, that they want to come be a part of that. And so we're stepping up but it costs us funding. The county's budget is about a third of the city. So I'm hoping that the city will maybe kind of help us a little bit, pay for these deputies. Again, we've paid $660,000 over the last 2 years for overtime, and we're glad to do it because it's important. Our people, constituents live in the city. 88% of the county is in city limits of Montgomery. And we're glad to supplement this grant and continue to go after grants. But at some point, we're going to need a little bit of help, and I hope the city will. They got a shortfall of officers. Everybody knows that. So hopefully some money will be in there that they can step up and help us.
Let's get a few of these in. I know you got to run here in a second. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Yeah, hey, you're probably not going to want to hear this, but I would really want them to work on the police department, not the county sheriff's department.
Well, we're talking to the head of the county commission here.
Yeah, I'm the sheriff.
I get that. I get that. Also, if I'm you, I'm going to try to get more tourists than locals to come into the Whitewater project, because we know what the locals are like and what naysayers they could be from just the baseball park. So I wouldn't even worry about the locals for right now. I would worry because once everybody starts doing it and starts all the attention, especially on the news and stuff, all the locals will show up. But I would work on tourists right now.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Yeah, that's
Appreciate
it's quality life for our local people. But our market is the tourists. Our market is those people that are traveling to the beach. That's part of that 300,000 Joy was talking about, trying to get some of them on the way to the beach to stop off at Whitewater and stay with us, and continue to have host Olympic trials, stuff like that. Hopefully, that's going to continue to help us.
Well, and it needs to be. We're nowhere near like it just started with the 300,000. I think that's again a headline number, an aspirational number. But if you get 64, you get 100, stopping by, and not just there, but all sorts of other tourist attractions in the city. That I think is wise. That can create new dollars in the city.
If we survive another BRAC, that's what I'm focusing on right now. Is making sure we're doing everything we can to show our support for Maxwell. They're our biggest employer.
Yeah.
What, $2 to $3 billion every year impact is huge if we lost the missions. And we're going to do everything. I'm not saying Whitewater's going to keep them here, but Whitewater is a piece of that. It's a positive that we have out there.
Well, and the way I view this now is I'm not a cheerleader for most things, but I try to view it. Here's a good case scenario. Here's the worst case scenario. And we'll see. And it sounds like you're well aware of many of the issues and how it needs to tighten up a little bit. And I do wonder, could this be a catalyst to get more private investment in the whole cooperative district area?
Yes, that's what we're working on. Okay. We're working on getting developers to come. And, naturally, when Whitewater came, people gobbled up the property across the street, smart people, and grabbed it up. I do want one thing that came on yesterday, Joy, before I get out of here,
sure.
And it's been mentioned today, the Cooperative District Board is not paid. Nobody's gotten paid a dime. Ellen McNair, Todd Strange, nobody's gotten paid a dime. Stephen Reed, nobody on the commission has been paid a dime, to my knowledge, and I think I would probably know it. So that's something that follow the money. Well, there ain't no money to follow, so there's no need to follow the money on this one. But I appreciate you allowing me to be on here and I just wanted to make sure everybody was educated on what's actually happening. And again, it's just a cement pond out there, and it's the water's draining the money out, and we ain't never gonna make any money, and it's costing this and this and this. But what it's doing, it was an investment. And today, it took me 3 or 4 years to raise my hand to do this. I feel better about today than I did
Okay.
2 weeks ago. So,
Well, no, I appreciate your time and good having you on the show for the first time.
hey,
We'll
I'll
have to
come
do this
anytime
again.
you ask me to come. I'd love to come.
And thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Second hour coming up.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. President Trump says China and the U.S. have agreed to more tariff talks amid a trade standoff. Mr. Trump and Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping have spoken amid stalled negotiations between their countries over tariffs that have roiled global trade. The Chinese Foreign Ministry says President Trump initiated the call. A unanimous Supreme Court has made it easier to bring lawsuits over so-called reverse discrimination. The justice's decision affects 20 lawsuits in 20 states and the District of Columbia, where until now, courts had set a higher bar when members of a majority group, including those who are white and heterosexual, sue for discrimination under federal law. On Wall Street, stocks have been flip-flopping, but are now higher. The Dow up 80 points, the NASDAQ adding 11. This is SRN News.
Hi, it's Mike Gallagher, host of the Mike Gallagher Show here. And when it comes to mortgages, I only trust the team that's helped me and my family more than once, Mike and Brian at Fellowship Home Loans. These guys are friends, believers. They built a company on biblical values that actually puts you first. In today's economy, with everything costing more, you need a lender who can help you make smart strategic moves when it comes to real estate. Need cash for home improvements? Thinking about a HELOC or a refi to consolidate debt? Well, Fellowship Home Loans can help you do it faster and for less. Why? Because they're a direct lender, not a broker. No middleman. No unnecessary fees. That means fewer hoops, less waiting, and real answers from real people who care. Whether you're buying, selling, refinancing, or just exploring your options, Fellowship Home Loans will tailor everything to your unique needs. Get started at fellowshiphomeloans.com/MikeG, fellowshiphomeloans.com/MikeG, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 8193.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by MPM Feed and Seed. Man's best friend deserves nothing but the best, and that's what you'll find at MPM Feed and Seed in Prattville. They carry only the highest quality dog food brands for your best friend. MPM in Prattville, 1313 Highway 31 North. Open 8 to 5:30 on weekdays and Saturdays 8 to 2. Call Clint Smith at 334-361-8818.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We're getting into a very typical summertime pattern that's going to seem more and more repetitive. Partial sunshine today with increasing humidity. And once again today, pop-up showers and storms in the afternoon and evening hours. They will be random and it'll be feast or famine. Some neighborhoods get drenched, others stay completely dry. High temperatures today and tomorrow in the upper 80s at least. Lows at night will be around 70, lots of humidity. Then over the weekend, the number of storms actually increases. They will still be random, but your probability of seeing one is better Saturday and Sunday, and also Monday. Some of the storms strong to severe, especially on Saturday with a level 2 severe weather risk. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More is your low price leader for everything you need for flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies. For the best prices on luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, flooring installation supplies, and more, shop Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. The Montgomery City Council has placed a temporary pause on the opening of certain new businesses in the city. The 90-day moratorium affects business permits for new package stores, convenience stores, gas stations, and vape shops. Similar moratoriums have recently been passed in Pike Road, Prattville, and Millbrook. Wetumpka city leaders announced they are ready to break ground on a new shopping center. Tractor Supply is one of the stores coming to the new center located on Coosa River Parkway bypass across from the Sportsplex. The city is expected to announce other well-known stores and restaurants coming soon. Montgomery Public Schools will continue to provide meals for kids over the summer. The MPS Summer Feeding Program will run from June 9th through July 3rd, providing a midday meal for children under 18. Meals will be served Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. until noon. Parents will not be allowed to pick up meals for children who are not present. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Hi, folks. This is Rick Clark with Clark Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. I'd like to take just a minute to talk to you about our experience with Blue Water Broadcasting. One of the hot topics in our staff meetings is spending advertising dollars. If your company or firm is anything like Clark Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing, those dollars are limited, so you have to spend them wisely. That's why we choose Blue Water Broadcasting. Our marketing analysis has proven consistently that spending advertising dollars with Blue Water Broadcasting has contributed significantly to our bottom line. And for that, Clark Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing is truly grateful. So, if you want to spend your advertising dollars wisely, choose Blue Water Broadcasting and see the difference.
Our advertisers are our biggest advocates. Call us to find out how radio can increase your bottom line. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Looking for a fresh, satisfying lunch? Look no further than Epicure and Jack's Tavern. Dive into their special lunch menu featuring 3 dishes for only $9.99 for seniors and $13.99 for others, complete with a drink and bread. At Epicure and Jack's, they pride themselves on creating every meal from scratch daily. No fast food, just real food that warms the soul. Stop by Epicure and Jack's Tavern today and savor the difference.
Since 1966, Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches has been more than just a place to stay. It's been a place to belong. For children facing hardships through no fault of their own, our ranches provide more than shelter. We offer a warm home, a loving family, and a future filled with hope. With open arms, we welcome these young hearts, giving them the love, structure, and guidance they need to heal, grow, and thrive in a warm Christian environment. Together, we can give Alabama's children the chance they deserve, a chance to dream, to succeed, and to feel truly cherished. Every donation stays within Alabama, directly impacting the lives of the children who need it most. Join us in making a difference. Visit AlabamaSheriffsYouthRanches.org. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and download our app from your app store. We'd be honored to have you as a part of our mission to lift up Alabama's youth. And remember this, it's easier to build boys and girls than to repair men and women.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Oh, welcome back. Byron Sheehy was sitting in the studio for that entire interview. I've turned his mic on finally now. Sorry about that, but I knew I had only so much time.
Yeah, I'm reminded of why I had to rewrite all my notes after class now.
Right.
There was so much information in that.
You've got so many questions, like follow-up things, like little details. And no, I like it. Yeah. My main takeaway is I hear where he's coming from. I think we're still in a very aspirational phase. And it's there. So we'll see how much it costs in the years ahead. If it does attract more investment to that area. The idea, folks, is I looked into it last night, is you get dollars from out of state. Now, say the Olympic trials have brought about 4,500 people. It's like $1.5 million impact. Not bad. But you need at least like 64. Idea would be like 100,000 people running through this thing. And the way you do that is you have much more events. You were talking all fair about you make it part of almost like a whitewater. People that are really into the kayaking, really into the rafting, make it sort of like a whitewater trail that, you know, you're hopping to different cities, you're traveling to different cities, you go try out their facilities.
Yeah, every time I look on social media, there's something popping up in Columbus, Georgia, people hanging out on the river. I mean, right. Like the city having spectators, they have competitions. It seems like, I believe the commissioner mentioned Robert Trent Jones Trail, right? So part of the reason people come here is not just they get to play one course, they get to play a series of great courses.
Right.
So we got the resources. Now we have a whitewater park. might as well tap into it.
Well, and the trick is, like, I view it as like the cherry on top. Amenities are not the thing, though, that necessarily drive economic growth. Amenities maybe sweeten a underlying profitable enterprise and sweeten the quality of life for everybody, but they're not your base. Again, it's the sprinkles and cherry on top, and sprinkles and a sundae do not make. You need that sweet, sweet ice cream.
You got to have the basic necessities first. You got to have education, infrastructure, safety, security, and then we can start worrying about nice things.
So we'll see. And again, aspirations.
It's always good to hope. Dream big.
Dream big.
Dream big.
I mean, how do you feel about Montgomery these days?
I'm glad there's 2 interstates pointing out of it.
Oh, really? You're just not generally warm for this place at the moment?
Feeling Montgomery's long-term trajectory.
What's the number one thing that troubles you with that?
Leadership. I mean, but it's not
like
just
city leadership.
I'm jaded because it's not. I can't look at Montgomery just through the city prism. I also see the state capitol. You know, like the world. That
okay, yeah, right.
But yeah, I'm kind of handcuffed here in a way.
Again, I think it's still early. We'll see. I wonder if they have to continue to go back to the city council or to the state. These things, that's the very politically contentious stuff. If instead you start bringing in other forms of funding, if it is, depending on what costs are, maybe they can tighten up to where it's not $2.9 million or $3 million of operating shortfall. And, you tighten that up and lower that window. And, to give comparison, I looked into it. I think the zoo's like $4 million a year, like the biscuits, $1 to $2 million. You can go across the board. It's a few million here or there, all the parks together. You're looking at, $20 million. And you do have to wonder, you look at all the parks. And again, it's not, amenities are a sweetener. They sort of give that little sparkle on your underlying base, that quality of life. But at a certain point, you got to wonder how many dadgum parks and trails and stuff we need. And I know a lot of people are into this. Again, I'm not just going to poo-poo this. I can see y'all's argument and y'all's best case scenarios, or a good case, like the mid-range case. But it is possible there's downside to all this. So we have to keep watching it like a hawk.
It's just kind of peculiar, the fact that it's a whitewater park. I mean, it doesn't seem like that would be the gemstone that all this other stuff would kind of be crafted around. Like, it just seems foreign to me personally. Like, I just don't go whitewater rafting. I love being on the river.
I've got a friend who he was a river rafting guide in West Virginia when he was up in college there, and he loved it. And we've kayaked some. It's been years now on the Coosa.
Oh, love that.
It's not really my thing, though. I admit it. If they had built a lazy river, I might be out there a little more.
Like, I'm not trying to get turned upside down and drown.
Right.
Like, that's not a good Saturday.
But then also, I'm a bad example. What, you know me. What do I do? At most, I might go to dinner with somebody.
We're good at talking.
Yeah, I like talking.
Yeah.
I like talking and watching and relaxing. I'm on mission chill. I'll put it that way. 272-9228. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
It's simpler days. I tried to get in.
Well, you got the floor now. What's up?
Well, our county commissioner feels better than he did 2 weeks ago. And I would feel better than I did 2 weeks ago if someone would have said, we're going to give you $500,000 forever. I'd feel really good, Joey.
Now, what, you're talking about the city?
Yeah.
I thought it was a half mil for 3 years.
No, I think they changed it, and I think they changed it for annually forever.
From the Craig Monger's reporting yesterday, I think it was, one of us is right here. I think it was only 3 years for the time being.
Well, we'll double check, but if it is 3 years after the first year, they should have said, we want an audit. We want to see what's going with the money, and then we'll do it another year, and then we'll come back and do it another year after that. But they could have built a freshwater aquarium. There's not one in the state of Alabama, just like the one in Chattanooga. And people could have come to it, all year round, all ages. You could have brought your grandkids there, And you could have built stuff around that, an educational center about wildlife on the river and all that stuff. But this is a very limited population. And, you know, he's quit saying about comparing it to Charlotte because based on the latest census, we know Montgomery is losing population and Charlotte is booming in population. And this thing about just continuing to say, well, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. You know, you just got to give it time. Well, it's the same thing they said about the recycling plant. And we got hung with that. And I'm just so happy that he feels better than he did 2 weeks ago. And, you know, money has a way of making you feel better.
Well,
have a good night.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Let's go to line 3. You're on the air. Who's this?
This is Cameron.
Hey, Cameron, what's up?
Well, just speaking for myself, I love Montgomery. She has a lot of potential. I was just listening while I was waiting to the comments there. I fully agree. An aquarium, anything that makes Montgomery a destination would be great. But I believe Montgomery should try to get the word out. It's pretty much a food city. You can get excellent barbecue here. You can get excellent Korean food here. There's an excellent Chinese restaurant. I mean, you know, just go down the list.
Oh, the Korean food here is damn good. I went to a spot the other night.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So it'd be interesting to find a way. I mean, do we need to invite Guy Fieri to come check us out? I think we could give him a run for the money.
Bring him to Flavortown here in the Gump?
Yes, sir. I believe she would stand up proud.
Oh, yeah. No, we got some good eating. I mean, you look at a lot of the folks. They eat enough.
Yeah.
Now, well, again, we're kind of in this we'll see portion of it. There's a lot of aspirations and if still going on.
Right.
And it could work out. It could be a very expensive cherry on top.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the call, Cameron.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, when was the construction completed? Approximately?
2-3 years ago.
Dumb question, but why not just put a pause on the project while it was, you know, inflation was running amok and costs were so high? I mean, if the timeline's already kind of extended and we're not going to open on time.
Suspect that has something to do with the contract with the contractor and
yeah, fair point.
Let's go to line 4. You're on there. Who's this?
Hi, this is Robert.
Hey, Robert. What's up?
Just fine, guys. I agree with the 2 recent callers on the water park, and I agree with this councilman. We had to do something to show the government that we're serious about maintaining that area. But now, when you do some expansion, please let the expansion be for the local people too. Have something there that we can come to every weekend. Bring our kids. Let's make it plain simple. We don't kayak. I'm black. We don't ride no kayak. We came over here on a boat, and we scared. But we would like to see our kids ride down a water slide. We'd like them to go to an aquarium. We would like to see them learn the education of the different fishes and species. Do like the planetarium would be a fun.
And what about the whole riverfront incident? I think the riverboats, it's changing things. Like people are all about the water now.
Then the ones taking the risk. Then the ones taking a high risk. I'm talking about normal people that walk on land.
Okay.
Some of us are land creatures. So please, if you're going to expand this park, expand it where the local people come every weekend and get that revenue also.
Well, and they did say, what, would you climb a rock wall, do the zip line?
Oh, we ain't climbing up nothing else. Once again, we're land creatures.
Lazy Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're slow creatures. All right, so give them something to slow creep around. And the older people, the grandparents weren't going to bring the kids.
You're making me
have
laugh,
something for the
Robert.
grandparents to do. Yeah, have something for the grandparents to do. The grandparents will be the one to have the kids coming to the park.
Well, they got slot machines up at the casino in Wetumpka.
Once again, we're trying to turn it to the casino. We don't want to do this. Casino bring on corruption.
Well, you just said something
we got corruption. Yeah. How's up for us? I'm old. I'm 66. Okay, now. And I ain't climbing no rock. I'm not throwing no rock.
What's the game where you slide the puck on the shuffleboard? Yeah, let's get a shuffleboard.
I tried it. So, but somebody had to go get my puck and bring me back to me to go off.
Right. Montgomery, Alabama, home of the World Championship Shuffleboard Competition.
Yeah, now you talk. Something like that.
Yeah, and like all these high school kids, like, what are you doing, young man? I'm a puck boy for the I go retriever.
You know what? Y'all know how many station wagons will be on the interstate heading to Montgomery? Y'all had shuffleboard. And they burn gas. Them old cars burn a lot of gas. We have to refill them every day.
Goodness. Well, I appreciate the call, Robert. Good one.
All right, y'all have a station.
Appreciate it.
Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Yes, who was that you had on earlier? Was that the County Commissioner Singleton?
Yes, sir.
Good God, that man is obsessed with whitewater.
Well, he heard us talking about it yesterday, and he wanted to make the case for it today.
Joey, ask how many whitewater tickets they have to sell for this to pencil out. $105 million up a WPA. You know what a WPA is?
A project?
A wild pig death.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry.
I mean, think about that concept. And then the other thing that's bloody hilarious is WSFA, who has to promote it. I love it. Every time they say, oh, here's a shot of whitewater. Guess what? Nobody's there.
Well, I'm kind of playing neutral on this. Like, I'm not a cheerleader for it, but I also, I'm not rooting for it to fail. And I will say all that stuff like SFA puts out and like, what the folks leading on this are putting out, I think it's all still pretty aspirational. So nothing.
Yeah, I mean, think about the bloody concept. You're going to put a whitewater facility over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, the people over there really love the fast-flowing rivers now, don't they?
I'm starting to sense a theme here. Yeah.
What a concept. This thing will not make the investment back in 100 years. But everybody in this town, in the chamber, get themselves in a room and say, oh, aren't we doing great? Don't look over there. Look over here. It is absolutely absurd.
Well, I appreciate the call, man.
I love our callers. They got jokes.
Yeah, and I do wonder, I mean, I'm not trying to be ugly about this. I do wonder if there's a class thing to this. Like the type of person that wants to go to a facility like that is like excited about it. Mm-hmm. There's a certain like economic or like class thing going on.
I don't know if it's class. I mean, you can definitely probably say that it's ageist. I mean, you're not going to get too many 70-year-olds or 60-year-olds out there. Probably not too many 50-year-olds.
Right.
I know one 40-year-old you're not getting out there. Well, how old are you?
I'm 36. I had to think about it for a second.
I know one 30-year-old and one 40-year-old you're not getting out there.
Yeah. I mean, I might go eat.
Right.
Like, I'll go eat out there.
Concessions. You'll get my tax dollars there.
Right. Again, we'll see. By the way, did you see all the fallout happening online and earlier today with Trump doing his Oval Office presser?
Mm-mm. I mean, I caught some. You talking about Musk?
Yeah.
I caught some of it as it was happening yesterday.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trump saying he has TDS. He misses working at the White House. And sometimes people that used to work here, they miss it so much they get TDS. And that Elon was mad about the EV tax credits going away. And Musk said, no, you can get rid of the EV tax credits. It's not fair because you never get rid of the oil and other energy subsidies.
Right.
But fine, get rid of them. It's still a terrible bill.
But he said,
and then so Musk went on to say Trump wouldn't have done as well in Pennsylvania. The Republicans wouldn't have done as well in the House or the Senate if I had not helped fund it and push it through my new media. And the quote from Musk is, he said this on X earlier this morning, quote unquote, such ingratitude. I was, talking with Jeff Poor a little bit about this, and that's my read on it, that he is pissed off that he puts his neck out there, puts together this Doge thing, takes all sorts of slings and arrows from folks. And now that he thinks this is a abomination of a bill, it's not all the work he's done at Doge is like wiped out. They're now throwing the usual partisan hack attacks at him. Like, well, he just wanted the payoff. He just wanted, and it's just like, I'm with Elon on this. Like, I'm so tired of that crew up there. What have y'all ever created? What have you ever created?
The professional politician.
Yeah. No, Washington, there's a reason I have a reoccurring dream of seeing Washington, D.C. sink into the ocean like Atlantis. Because it's that sort of mentality of, and they play this fake game of, let's set the practical parameters. Give people the false choice of big, beautiful bill, BBB, or bust, baby. If you don't pass this, taxes go up 60%. We can't do any of this stuff. And after they create that false frame and choice, they just shove in a bunch of pork, add in a bunch of things going on. Because it's not just the stuff everybody's talking about in the media. There's a lot of crap in this thing. And then they're like, well, this is the practical way. And all these, principled guys, in principle, they're just grandstanders, like Thomas Massey and Rand Paul and Mike Lee. They're just grandstanders.
Said by a grandstander.
No, the people that are actually consistent is Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, and Mike Lee. Elon, in his war against Trump, retweeted a 2013 Trump tweet that says, Republicans passing a debt ceiling. I'm a Republican and I'm embarrassed. Elon asking, where's this guy?
Didn't Trump say that he was just for removing the debt ceiling outright?
No, maybe Trump is, because Rand Paul's sticking point, now Elon's sticking point is fine. Pass this thing, but don't raise the debt ceiling $5 trillion.
No, he did, because he said, I agree with Pocahontas. We need to remove it.
No, Trump wants to up the debt ceiling.
I thought he said he wanted to remove it outright.
Oh, just, not even raise it, get rid of it outright. Yes. Whereas Rand Paul's position is, no, we don't need to raise it $5 trillion, because that signals you're going to spend $5 trillion. And you're just going to kick this issue to after the next election. And, well, we'll do it after that. Well, then there's an election, another one right around the corner. And we keep doing this thing where you're just not practical, you grandstanders. And by the way, if it wasn't for us being here, the Democrats are so much worse. I'm so tired of you using the crappy behavior of the Democrats to say you're golden and that your crap doesn't stink. And the Democrats do the same thing. They use it as a foil, and it's back and forth, and debt, and more debt. And you know how many times Trump has said, oh, we got to handle the debt. And now you got Besson out there saying, well, we'll do it through growth. Maybe this is just a bunch of, got to let it out. Fellas got to let it out.
I don't think this is a bunch of angst or playing Chicken Little with the sky falling here. Like, these are real concerns, man.
Yes.
I mean,
actually look at the pressure in the bond markets right now.
We are financially a house of cards built on sand.
Right. So we'll see. But nobody wants to cut in a serious way.
I did see that they indicated that the rescission package would come up next week.
Yeah, but what? It's $9 billion.
I'll be happy with 4.
Right. Well, they find $160 billion there at Doge, and they increase spending like hundreds of billions.
The fact that USAID is still funded in this thing after everything that they found out about it.
Well, that's what the rescission package will do. That's the $9 billion. There are a few things like that. It needs to be a much higher number, but we'll get into all the I've got clips of Trump. I got more stuff from Elon. Also, Tuberville being much more governor than senator, talking about he's worried about in the big, beautiful bill how they're shifting costs on the states for food programs and the like. So Tuberville already weighing in. There are other things besides this nasty fight. For instance, Trump and Xi to meet in person for trade talks, that did break. And Elon was even throwing things out there today in the midst of criticizing Trump. Trump's still doing good things. So
who's Trump meeting with?
President Xi of China very soon. Like they were both did reciprocal invites. So you come to China, you come to the United States. Yeah. So we'll see if that gets ironed out. But it's a mess. And what my main takeaway from this is, I think politics is what's ruining us. It's this short-sighted, small-minded, manipulative, and just downright corrupt. Maybe it's legal. Well, it's legal graft then. It's legal corruption. That is, Elon put it perfectly, it's a debt slavery bill. You're throwing this onto your future children. And when you care about, say, the old people on fixed income, and you go out of your way to scare old people, they're going to touch your benefits. If we do not get this under control, especially the interest payments, then everybody's got a problem, including those folks most worried about being on fixed income.
Well, you and I both know that it's worse now than it was a few years ago. But the talking points, the rhetoric is the same.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be the last time. It's too late. We can't keep going on like this. They said that after the bailout.
Yep.
Or one of the bailouts.
No, I got an old clip of Ron Paul in 2011 saying, I'm not voting to raise the debt ceiling. And he was sounding the alarm back then. And this is the thing, in particular with the GOP. They promise us in 2010 when the Tea Party takes over, we're really going to rein this in. They promise us, Trump himself in 2016, we're really going to rein this in. They promise us in 2024, yeah, the debt is such a big deal. And now we've got this like superhero, like the Avengers. We got Elon Musk and, remember like Vivek and all these other people. We're really going to cut, and we're putting together this Doge idea and we're going after it. It's such a serious issue. So serious. Except every single person up there, maybe they understand the American people. Maybe we shouldn't blame the politicians. Maybe we should blame the voters who will cry bloody murder if you even try to touch anything. I guess everybody can just be bought off now.
I think
by other people's money.
I think every voter just needs to take an honest look in the mirror and say, I was wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not about this election, but about elections in general.
Anyway.
These people do not follow through on campaign promises.
Anyway, this part of the program brought to you by Dylan Rings, and they're at Dylan Rings. Josh and Leslie Ryder are ready to help you with any of your jewelry needs. They're a full-service jewelry shop. Again, we're in the month of June now, which is crazy to believe, and I'm looking at a great video Josh threw up on the Dylan Rings Facebook page. It's made by Josh, hot off of Josh's bench. It's a lab-grown Alexandrite pendant with a chain. And oh my goodness. And this is the birthstone for June that changes color depending on the type of light. It is an absolutely beautiful. Folks, go check it out on Facebook. So if you're looking for custom made stuff like this, just made by Josh, or if you're looking for stuff already in stock, already in inventory, could be you're looking for appraisals, or they can buy old jewelry off of you, or repair work, spa treatments. They do it all. Full service jewelry shop. So stop by today. 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery. And be sure to tell him that Joey, that fella on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. Recently, I met with 3 different owners of homes who had the same problem. They wanted to sell their house quick and sell it as is for cash. All 3 people were approached by different investors that said they had cash for their home, signed contracts, only to find out they were not personally going to buy their homes, but to find a buyer willing to pay more than they offered and pocket the difference. It's called wholesaling. Offer a contract to buy a house at a certain price, up to price to other buyers, and pocket the difference. I urge you, don't fall for it. You want to sell your home quick, use a licensed professional realtor, as I have been for 48 years, keeping promises to get homes sold quick. For all the details, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225. Call Bo Goodson at 221-2883.
For reliable electrical services in Central Alabama, trust the experts at Crosby Electric. Crosby's licensed and insured electricians are ready to tackle any project for your home, from troubleshooting, repairs, to installing new lighting and preventive maintenance. And Crosby understands the need for quality service for small business. Crosby is big enough for the largest job, yet small enough to bring real value. Visit CrosbyElectric.com to schedule your service. Crosby, powering Central Alabama with excellence.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdis. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, where right now, get a load of this, listen close, you got a house full of carpet for $19.95 installed. Unbelievable. They're located at 6450 Atlanta Highway, just across from Walmart.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We're getting into a very typical summertime pattern that's going to seem more and more repetitive. Partial sunshine today with increasing humidity. And once again today, pop-up showers and storms in the afternoon and evening hours. They will be random and it'll be feast or famine. Some neighborhoods get drenched, others stay completely dry. High temperatures today and tomorrow in the upper 80s at least. Lows at night will be around 70, lots of humidity. Then over the weekend, the number of storms actually increases. They will still be random, but your probability of seeing one is better Saturday and Sunday, and also Monday. Some of the storms strong to severe, especially on Saturday with a level 2 severe weather risk. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Hey, this is Jody Pangle with Peaches and Clean. Have you gone with luxury vinyl tile and luxury vinyl planking in your home? Peaches and Clean cleans luxury vinyl tile and planking. Give us a call. We'd love to come look at it and get you an estimate or quote for your cleaning. Check us out at peachesandclean.com.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. This part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team are ready to help you, whether you're looking to buy or sell here in the Montgomery and surrounding areas. Buy or sell that home, of course, is what I'm talking about. Bo's been working in the River Region real estate market for about half a century now, 50 years under his belt. And not only at the Goodson Group can they help you with buying and selling your property, they have management services available should you want to rent out your home. And the crown jewel there is the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed in the great state of Alabama. Whether you're looking to be a licensed real estate agent or just a more knowledgeable private player, Bo's taught many folks who have found great success at the ground running, learn directly from him and his 50 years of experience. So you can always check out more about the Goodson Group at thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of the program. Let's go to line one and talk to Eric. Hey, Eric, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. I want to bring up a subject. It's going to be a little bit long, but do you remember the Alabama representative up in Huntsville area who woke up one morning and found that the district that he had been in had been moved, and so he didn't have a district anymore. And so he went and supposedly rented a room from a friend of his that was in the right district and ran again. Do you remember that?
No, it might be before I was even paying attention.
No, it's been the past 6 months.
Was it Dale Strong? Did he?
I don't remember his name, but what happened then was, once this built up, it became a lawsuit. He ended up in court, and he was found guilty of a felony, had to resign the post in the legislature, and went to jail for 30 days, 45 days, something like that.
Okay.
Now, does that sound anything like somebody we know who is talking about running for a post in the state of Alabama?
No, it doesn't to me.
It sounds exactly like Tommy Tuberville.
So you don't think Tuberville's an Alabama resident?
Well, not for the length of time that it is required to be governor. And here I'll offer you a chance to check it. This isn't normal law of Alabama, in the Code of Alabama. This is the Alabama Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
It's black letter law. And look at Section 117, and there it lays out exactly what Tommy Tuberville has to do.
Well, it has to be 7 years, right?
Yes, and it must be the 7 years immediately preceding the election.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't get to count the 10 years that when he was a coach here, 30 years ago. His wife is a licensed real estate agent down in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
When he took the job with ESPN in 2018, he admitted that he was living in Florida because it was easier to take flights to get up to ESPN headquarters for his job.
Well, so all this will be tried out in court. I just don't think it's going to fly. And I don't think you're going to get jail time for it either.
No, I don't think so. But what will happen is probably the Democrats will file suit, and it'll go to court, and it won't be something that the court can change willy-nilly, since it's constitutional law. It's not the law of Code of Alabama.
Don't you think Will Ainsworth's camp would have run this to ground?
I don't know. Ainsworth may have had other reasons that were weighing on him, so he just finally gave up the
right.
vote.
And then I'd imagine too they've owned that home in Auburn for a long time.
Yeah, Whoopi.
But that's the crux of this. Is why I can't give you a solid answer necessarily. I just don't think it's going to fly. And to Byron's point here,
he doesn't live there.
What's the difference in requirement for Senate in Alabama and Senate for Alabama governor? Is it just the
there's no the Senate position doesn't require any residency issues.
No, you have to be a resident of the state.
Well, but nothing as specific as this. Nothing like living in Florida and running for governor.
Well, and it will get down to the number one, if people actually want to challenge this, what judge is going to see it? And it gets down to the crux of what do we mean by living there?
It's not living there, it's residency. For instance...
So if you own a home in Auburn, Alabama, but does that count?
No. Listen to me. Where are your income tax forms filed from? That's the sort of thing that establishes residency. He's taken a homestead exemption down in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
That declares a residency down in Florida. Or he's guilty of fraud for Florida, just like Letitia James is up in Virginia and New York.
Well, I mean, and you're making the arguments they're going to make in court. I'd imagine there are counter arguments to this, and even black letter law is often up to the people in an adversarial situation in front of a court. So we'll see. It seems unlikely to me that he'll actually be knocked out by this. But you might be right.
He should be. The guy should have stayed as a coach. That was something he was good at. He's nothing as a legislator.
Well, I disagree with you there, but I appreciate the call, Eric.
Well, wait a minute. You still there?
You got one more thing?
He when he was first running, he guaranteed that he would donate his entire legislative salary to veterans. How much has he donated? The answer is zero.
I don't recall him saying that.
Pardon?
I mean, I can't recall him saying that. I'm not saying
He
you're
said
wrong,
it in
but I
public.
don't remember it.
He said it in public.
So how will you feel if all this stuff you're throwing out there, he ends up governor of the state?
How do you feel if anybody that you oppose becomes the governor of the state?
Well,
you kind of live with it.
Yeah, no, it's how I feel about all politicians, even the ones I like. I appreciate it, Eric.
Yep.
Let's go. We got to hit another quick break here. I was running behind, but first, this part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. Ooh, brother. You feeling all right, brother? You feeling yourself?
Man, I feel old.
Well, you might want to you should look into your testosterone score.
I should probably go.
Yeah, it's only like $99. It's a quick blood draw. They get your score. They ask you like quality of life questions, like have you lost weight, or you're gaining weight, or lost muscle mass, are you sleeping well?
I feel like they already know this.
Ever in the mood? Like, what are your energy levels in general? Like your sort of mental clarity going. Yeah, and this all adds up, and then they look at your score. You also get a PSA score, great marker for prostate health, without having to do the whole thing with the finger.
Yeah, no.
So I'm just saying, if you're 40, and guy in my 30s, even guys in their 20s, let alone guys in their 50s and 60s, you should, if you're not feeling yourself, get by Montgomery Men's Health. Again, it's just a $99 consultation, quick blood draw, and lab workup, testosterone-focused lab workup. And if you do have low T, they have treatments there that can truly change lives, including treatments that make you feel better the very same day. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym. That's right, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism, and you usually even notice an increased libido. You can actually book the same day that you call. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Let's face it, what our customers say about our business is the most important advertising tool. Here at Adams Drugs, we love our customers. We're here with Al and Amy Steinecker, Adams Drugs customers. Amy, please tell us how easy it was to transfer your prescriptions to Adams Drugs from the big box store.
It was one of the easiest things I've ever done. I went into the pharmacy on Bond Road and spoke with the pharmacist and told him we had not been happy where we'd been and would love to transfer our prescriptions. And he said, I'll be happy to call them. And that was that. And now when I call, I just say I need to have a prescription filled. And it's just that simple.
Al, what has your customer service been like at Adams Drugs?
It's amazing. You walk in, you're not standing in a line. They speak to you, call you by name, and say, what do you need today, Al or Mr. Steinecker? It's wonderful. It doesn't get any better.
Please come into any Adams Drugs location and let us earn your business. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest you. Adams Drugs is your independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio. And from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Pestruccelli, General Sales Manager and co-owner of Blue Water Broadcasting. Even in the digital age, radio remains the most powerful reach medium for connecting with audiences. Its ability to engage listeners, reach a wide and diverse audience, and create real emotional connections sets it apart from other forms of media. Radio's adaptability and easy access ensure its continued relevance now and in the future. Want to learn how radio can work for your business? Visit BlueWaterBroadcasting.com. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
When you need a new door or window replaced, you want it done right. Someone who delivers expert craftsmanship every time. Experience is a must. Listen, Davis Door and Sash. They can show you new doors and windows that can help you lower your utility bills and boost energy efficiency. Davis Door and Sash, Alabama.com or call 334-288-6010. Davis Door and Sash, the perfect fit for your home.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services and their Pest Pro Ashley and that fantastic team are ready to help you with any and all of your pest control needs. 'Tis the season where mosquitoes are bedeviling all of us. It's not a fun thing to deal with. You're trying to enjoy your property. Say you get the family together, you have a nice big meal, and you go sit out on the porch, and all of a sudden, in the middle of solving all the world's problems, one of those conversations that maybe don't remember every dot and tittle, but it just feels good. You're in the flow. All of a sudden, a mosquito bites you and just takes you right out of the flow. Or you go back inside and you got all these welts all over you. Just no fun. Why not call it Pest Pro Services? Get them on the job. And it's not like they come out once to treat those mosquitoes and you got to remember to call them back. No, they get you on a regular plan about 8 times a year. They're coming out treating your property and you're not going to have any mosquito issues. It works like a dream, works like a charm. Y'all check out Pest Pro Services today. You can always learn more about everything they offer at ppsriverregion.com or just search for Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces or just call them direct, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. When you want to know, call a pro, Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that fantastic team that Joey, that fellow on the radio, sent you. Let's go to T-Spear. Hey, T-Spear, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. Been working out in the garden while y'all were chatting with various people. And a message to the gentleman regarding the Whitewater Park. When you get control of the criminal elements and the amount of crime and all in your city, then people will come back to your city. It's really quite simple. But my next address is actually to the last geezer that called in. I'm an old geezer, so I can call him a geezer. I don't care if he likes it or not. What are you so bitter about Tommy Tuberville about? It's that simple. What are you so bitter that you would absolutely rather have someone else, and you can't even name who, to be governor of this state? You need to get an attitude adjustment, dude. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you need an attitude adjustment into what reality is. We are having a problem with this country that takes a lot more than football to resolve. And you're doing nothing to help resolve it with your level of hateful rhetoric. I don't know who he is. I really don't care. But you're an old geezer that has nothing but bitterness in your heart. Go away, dude. Get an attitude adjustment. Come back and figure out what life is all about. Grow a garden. It's a wonderful thing for your patience and your angst in the world. And Elon Musk, you keep it up. Simply because I am fed up with those idiots in Washington, D.C. and in Montgomery, Alabama.
Amen.
Spending money that they don't have. Stealing money from the public. I want to know, where did all of this money go and where did it come from? And until we have that resolution, we need some people in office to be removed. And I completely agree with how Elon Musk feels. Hell, I'd feel that way too if I had done that amount of work and put that kind of money into the work that I had done, to have a bunch of absolute thieves stealing everything. And at this point in time, a healthy part of Congress, you're a bunch of damn thieves.
Well,
my rant for the day.
Good one. Appreciate it, Teasbear.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Well, and she's helping me. I mean, that's what I shoot for here on News and Views, or some call it Joey Clark Live on News Talk 93.1 FM. Geezer on geezer hate crimes. We like to get the boomers hating boomers.
I like it when I agree with different generation.
Yeah, me too. I don't know. I love living with my grandfather. Like, and I've noticed this, I actually have a lot of listeners I've learned that are about my grandfather's age, you know, give or take. And they're more the silent generation. They're born more in the 30s. And they're great folks because I think they grew up trusting institutions because the institutions were pretty sound, pretty strong. And, you know, they come up after, you know, the war is won and all this stuff. And I mean, these are the folks that live kind of the, you know, life is tough for everybody in different ways. But, you know, the charming sort of 1950s sense you get of America. Obviously, America had issues, especially around here. But there's a wholesomeness to these folks. And because they understand, I think, the whole arc we've gone through over the last, say, 80 years, they're more on the side, I think, of they're full of crap. Like, they trusted for a long time. And they're like, well, we're on the back end here. Like, it's going to be my kids and my grandkids that have to deal with this. And so I'm heartened by some of the more elders out there listening get it. They get it a lot more than my boomer dad, though my dad's pretty cool on all this too. It is cool when the different generations team up together. Hey, I got to hit another break. Final hour coming up. First, though, this entire second hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, not only can they help you get a mortgage here in Alabama, they're also licensed in Florida and Georgia and Tennessee.
Better not run for governor.
But Kim Williams would be a heck of a governor, I think. And so would Madeline Cannon. They know how to get work done, stuff done. And they can get you through that home buying process, especially if it's your first time. They can walk you through from pre-approval all the way to closing day. Or maybe you're looking to refinance that home to get debt off your back, or just restructure your debt altogether. Could be you want to reinvest in your property, or you want to get down monthly costs, especially if you're about to hit or already in your retirement years. They can help you across the board, whatever your goals. Great local trusted folks. Again, they can help you in Alabama and many markets beyond. Check them out today at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. NATO defense ministers had to approve plans to buy more weapons and military equipment to better defend Europe, the Arctic, and North Atlantic. The capability targets are assigned to each of the 32 member countries and are part of the U.S. push to ramp up security spending. Priority purchases including air and missile defense systems, artillery, ammunition, drones, and heavy air transport. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth says the U.S. is pushing a 5% spending target for all NATO nations. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says that Israel has activated some local clans of Palestinians in Gaza in the fight against Hamas. Netanyahu said the government made the move on the advice of security officials in order to save lives of Israeli soldiers. This is SRN News.
3 years ago, I wrapped up a run of Annie playing Daddy Warbucks with the South Carolina Children's Theater. I was about 50 pounds overweight, tired, sick, fed up with the way I felt. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. I had to do something. I scheduled my weight loss consultation with PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition. And as they say, the rest is history. Just a few months, I lost over 50 pounds. I took control of my health. 3 years later, I've kept the weight off and I feel better than ever. If you are where I was, do what I did. Call PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition. It'll change your life. It's fast and simple. They won't let you fail. Just give them a call at 855-696-2020 to schedule your weight loss consultation. That's 855-696-2020. 855-696-2020. Here's the best part. First 11 callers who mention the keyword healthy will get 2 free weeks added to their weight loss package. Don't wait. Call today. 855-696-2020. Mention healthy to get 2 free weeks or visit them at myphdweightloss.com, myphdweightloss.com.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by MPM Feed and Seed. Man's best friend deserves nothing but the best, and that's what you'll find at MPM Feed and Seed in Prattville. They carry only the highest quality dog food brands for your best friend. MPM in Prattville, 1313 Highway 31 North. Open 8 to 5:30 on weekdays and Saturdays 8 to 2. Call Clint Smith at 334-361-8818.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We're getting into a very typical summertime pattern that's going to seem more and more repetitive. Partial sunshine today with increasing humidity. And once again today, pop-up showers and storms in the afternoon and evening hours. They will be random, and it'll be feast or famine. Some neighborhoods get drenched, others stay completely dry. High temperatures today and tomorrow in the upper 80s at least. Lows at night will be around 70, lots of humidity. Then over the weekend, the number of storms actually increases. They will still be random, but your probability of seeing one is better Saturday and Sunday, and also Monday. Some of the storms strong to severe, especially on Saturday with a level 2 severe weather risk. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has digital banking solutions to help you keep up. Check balances, pay bills, and much more. Learn more at cbsbank.com. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for information. Member FDIC.
1819 News.
Republican Young Boozer is planning to run for state treasurer in 2026. This will be Boozer's 4th term in the elected office. Boozer's position as state treasurer received the most media coverage back in 2023 when he declined to give a $30 million state loan to Birmingham Southern College, saying the educational institution had been grossly mismanaged in the financial area for many years. Boozer says he has managed billions of dollars, earned billions of dollars, and saved millions of dollars for the Alabama taxpayer in his position as treasurer. Boozer has also reduced his office staff from 46 to 26 and offered improvements to the Alabama Trust Fund, which is what receives oil and gas royalty payments. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Are you enjoying 1819 News? If so, consider joining 1819 News as a member. As a nonprofit news organization, we depend on the support of Alabamians like you. Memberships start out as little as $5 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive content only offered to our members. You'll be supporting independent journalism done by people who cherish Alabama values. Become a member today by visiting 1819news.com and clicking Become a Member. That's 1819news.com and click Become a Member today.
A Florence woman is back behind bars and being charged with possession of a controlled substance. Tiffany Ballantyne also spent 51 months in a Lauderdale County jail for the DUI death of a Muscle Shoals doctor back in 2017. Ballantyne pleaded guilty to criminally negligent homicide. Samford University has decided to withdraw its Creekside Development Project from being considered for zoning by the Homewood City Council. The news of the whole housing and hotel development plan from Samford first came out a few months ago and resulted in a lot of criticism, objections, and protest from Homewood residents. Samford President Dr. Beck Taylor says that the university will drop the off-campus private investment plan and focus on campus improvements instead. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Well, this will be refreshing after talking so much of local stuff. We have our regular Thursday guest, former chief of staff to Ron Paul while he was there in the Congress, president of the Mises Institute for about a decade, now with Monetary Metals. Jeff Dice joining the show. Hey, Jeff, how you doing today?
Good afternoon, Joey. I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm actually quite well. While watching or dealing with all the local issues, I've been watching the fallout between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, and what a show this is. Have you had a chance to look at the back and forth?
Well, I have not, but this was scripted, I think, long ago. These are two guys with, let's say, a bit of ego, and I think this was destined to happen. It sounds like Doge is petering out, which is a bad thing for America because we've got serious structural problems with debt and the dollar. They're not being addressed from my perspective, and apparently from Elon Musk's perspective. There's no, sentiment amongst the electorate to deal with this at all. Everybody just wants their money, and so it's a real problem, and it's frightening.
Yeah, and Elon, Trump was saying Elon's upset because I took away the EV mandate. I think Elon said, no, I just go ahead. It's not fair. You never take away the subsidies for other energy, but go ahead, take away the EV stuff. I don't care. Saying we showed him the bill and he got all upset about EV. And then Elon went on quite a tear saying, such ingratitude. Without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House and Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate. Again, such ingratitude. So, and I love that Elon's leaning into more your Thomas Massey's, your Rand Paul's. He's giving voice to more the libertarian wing. Just to underline the point you just made, Jeff, like how serious of an issue is it now that interest payments are so much on the debt and that you're almost in the bond market seeing folks say, hey, y'all better take this seriously or we're going to force your hand here?
Well, it's very serious in the sense that the U.S. public and our federal government and Congress have all gotten used to being able to spend more than they bring in tax revenues by a significant margin every year. I mean, we're talking maybe bringing in 3, 4, 5 trillion, spending 8 trillion. I mean, we're talking about a budget very soon that will have annual $2 trillion deficits minimum. So that 36, 37 trillion debt, which has built up over time. Remember, it was only $1 trillion when Ronald Reagan entered office in 1981. I'm sure plenty of your listeners are old enough to remember Ronald Reagan. In 1981, that debt was $1 trillion. Now it's 37 times that. So when you start adding another $2 trillion a year, the question becomes, was Dick Cheney right that deficits don't matter, debt doesn't matter? No, he wasn't right for a couple reasons. First of all, he said that during a period from about a 40-year period where interest rates went down. Now they're going up. And number two is just you just reach certain mathematical realities when the number gets big enough. So at some point, we're going to have so much debt and we're going to be accumulating so much new debt that you start to ask yourself, well, who's going to continue to lend us money? And I think that's a good question. A lot of institutional investors all around the world buy U.S. Treasuries, and not just governments, not just central banks, but pension funds, university endowments, you name it. Many of these institutional investors actually have it in their charter that they're required to have a certain percentage of their holdings in U.S. Treasuries because those were seen, other than holding dollars themselves, as basically the safest, least volatile, most risk-free asset you could have. And even our local banks in Alabama certainly thought that up until, let's say, 2022 and COVID came along. So it's a situation where everyone has always just assumed that there's an endless appetite to lend Uncle Sam money, and it'll never run out, and we'll never have to offer junk bond rates, let's say, 15, 18%, because our Congress spends like drunken sailors. We'll never have to offer that because Joey, because we're America and everybody wants our debt. Well, that's been basically true for 40 years. And the idea that it might not be true in the next 40 is, I think, extraordinarily frightening, because we have a lot of folks in this country who deeply depend on Social Security and Medicare, for example, which are huge portions of the budget. We have no political will to cut the defense budget, which is a huge portion of the budget. And we can't cut the interest payment portion of the budget without basically being a deadbeat.
Right.
That's the term that you use when it comes to individuals. So it's really something the structural problems are up against. And Elon, I think, senses that Trump is just going to kick the can down the road.
Yeah, and I'm seeing here, Elon put out a X poll there, formerly known as Twitter. Is it time to create a new political party in America that actually represents the 80% in the middle, 83% saying yes, with about 590,000 votes in the last 24 hours? But I mean, people have tried this before. I will say, watching the fallout here, I'm seeing the usual attacks that are just the hack political attacks that, Elon doesn't like, the EV mandate thing. It's sort of just small potatoes compared to the big picture. But the one that's really getting me is I'm seeing Stephen Miller go after the so-called libertarians in the Congress. And he's like, well, if the Democrats were here, think about how much worse it would be. But I mean, we've seen this over and over again. I believe Liam McCullum shared an old interview with Congressman Ron Paul, where it was 2011, saying, yeah, I'm not voting for a debt ceiling increase. These people aren't serious. They promised us in 2010. They promised us in 2016. They promised us in 2024. And we're hearing the same old game. Well, at least we ain't the Democrats. So to me, it's like there's a cultural problem in D.C., but there's also, maybe we should blame the voters. Like, nobody seems to want to take their medicine. Maybe this is just a flaw of our system.
Well, and that's why Elon is wrong to talk about a party of the people in the middle. They're the blame. In other words, they're the ones who don't want one hair on the top of the head of the entitlement system touched. They want their Social Security and Medicare to the end of the moon. They don't want a single hair on so-called defense spending cut. And most damningly, they vote to reelect Congress at rates that would make the old Soviet Politburo blush. I mean, these guys and gals get reelected at enormous rates. And so everybody hates Congress, but nobody seems to hate their congressman or congresswoman. So there's a disconnect there. There's something psychological about this. And so if you say, well, we have to go along to get along, because if we don't, my gosh, if we do unpopular things, like vote for actual spending cuts, not just slight reductions in the rate at which spending grows. There's a difference. I'm talking about actual real spending cuts. Gee whiz, maybe Katie Britt would get thrown out of the Senate.
All right.
And then what would be accomplished? Maybe we'd have a Democrat, and the Democrats would spend even more. I mean, we've heard this ad nauseum for decades, and it hasn't worked. And so I don't think that the incentive structure at the federal level can be undone. I think we now have to turn to state and local politics as basically the protective shield against D.C. and start realizing, if Alabama's smart, I heard during the commercial break that our treasurer is running for re-election. I think that's where people ought to be taking a look. I mean, in many ways, Alabama's blessed. We have a very, wieldy population of only about 5 million, which is on par with Norway. So we're a manageable country. We have wonderful oil revenues that some very forward-thinking people had the good sense to contract for the state of Alabama back in the 1970s. And those oil revenues are still paying us. We have budget surpluses, depending on how you compute them. We have certainly some problems in our cities with crime. We have some problems in our cities with schools. And that's what we ought to be thinking about, because at some point, DC and the things we get worked up about on Twitter just almost become abstractions because we can't seem to affect them. I mean, electing Katie Britt is not enough.
Right.
Electing Tommy Tuberville is not enough. And so I don't have an answer in national politics because people simply won't vote to cut what must be cut. And until then, they're just full of it.
Well, and I hope folks picked up, as excited as I got about with the craziness in the national election. I described it as my favorite wrestler just won the belt at WrestleMania. There's a sizzle to all this. There's a show to all this that one can, I guess, enjoy maybe with a sixth sense of humor. But the actual underlying issues, you're right, something else has to give. I mean, shifting the conversation here a little bit, a lot of promises are being made about artificial intelligence and AI. I mean, number one, do you think it will be this sort of savior of the economy, the amount of money, the amount of energy that will have to be plowed into these things? What is the promise of this technology from where you're sitting for the moment?
Well, the promise of it is like any other technology, that it makes us more productive. In other words, when we came along with mechanical farming, that meant we didn't have to use horses and hand plows and all kinds of things that took a lot more human manpower to do. And so that made farming much more productive per hour and per acre, per hectare, however you measure it. So, these things are always put people out of work. I mean, when the automobile slowly came along, a lot of buggy whip makers went out of business. When electricity came along, a lot of candle makers went out of business. We see this with all technology. Problem here is that the pace of change is so much more rapid than it's ever been in human history. And I know that sounds hubristic, like, oh my gosh, we live in such an advanced age, but it really is true. There's a human sort of cognitive capacity to deal with change. And we have so many people across this country who basically just look at computers and move letters and numbers. And if a Martian were to come along, it would look pretty damn non-productive to that Martian, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
They'd say, you're not making anything, you're not doing anything, you're not actually producing a good or service. And so to the extent that stuff can be automated, and look, I'm a lawyer by trade, so I'm certainly in the crosshairs here. By AI, I would just view that as the next better wave of software. I don't view it as an existential threat. If you were a typist when computer word processing came along, yeah, that was kind of an existential threat, but you probably adapted and you're probably okay. And I would just view AI as nothing more than the next sort of combination of hardware and software. And I don't think it's going to be sentient. I don't think there's going to be some singularity where it starts becoming like a Stephen King novel and, your refrigerator starts bossing you around and calls you a fatty or something like that. I don't think that's the future.
And now I have to ask, you posted, I think, this like last week, talking about, will AI diction, syntax, tone, and style reflect the barely literate vernacular of the era in which it's created, or will the oppressive rules of proper English inform it? So no cap. I mean, I know what you mean about like the current era and the way everybody is using the Kings, if using it at all. This is a fascinating idea. How do you think AI might, especially the large language models, affect the way we use our language?
Well, it's a great question. I mean, look, we have to assume that almost everyone heavily involved in building out the AI infrastructure and code and its ability to synthesize and learn, in a sense, is young. And everybody who speaks, let's say, what we may call Etonian King's English is old. And so you wonder, well, the way we understand things as human beings, the way we cognitively understand them is we bring the, Joey, I've used cognitive twice today. The way we understand things is we bring things into our senses, and then we put that into thoughts, and that expresses as language. So the language is actually the building block of how we know stuff. And if the language is slang, if the language is acronyms, if the language is emoticons, if the language is dumbed down to the current vernacular, then I think that dramatically affects the kind of learning that AI is going to be involved with.
Yeah, and from interacting, I mostly, I don't use ChatGPT, I use Grok mostly. It's almost like a mirror. Like, it can be pretty dumb and give you very dumb answers, or it just grabs from some news headlines. But if you push it and you sort of massage it and guide it along the way, these things can become fairly sophisticated in how they use language and how nuanced their thinking might be. But it really, to me, reflects the user of the large language model for the time being. It's not so much it's manipulating people, though there's a lot of worry about that now. That is AI going to start to influence people to do odd things in the same way, the big three corporate media networks used to influence everybody's opinion. Does a certain AI start to influence, say, the average person's opinions?
I suppose it will. I mean, this is what we're faced with. I mean, I don't use browsers anymore. I don't know about you, Joey. I don't use Chrome. I get much better answers from GPT-4 or Grok, answers which are actually sort of synthesized from across the web, as opposed to having some sort of editorial decision making by Google to maximize its ad revenue.
Right.
And so I think the idea of ad-supported browsers is probably coming to an end, and that's probably a good thing. So yeah, it's gonna affect us in ways we can't even think of. But when you talk about whether it's dumbed down, and it does go a lot to what information you put into it, and it gets to know your kind of queries and search over time. I don't think there's any shortcut here. I think that it'll simply be how you ask the questions becomes where the skill is, or how you combine different fields of knowledge and put those into AI form. That will be where the skill is. There will still be skill. I don't think that's going to change. But what I worry about is that we are going to simply think that all information has to constantly evolve. I mean, I've heard people say textbooks are now obsolete, or books in general are now obsolete, because by the time a book is written and printed and widely circulated and enough people read it, some of the stuff in there has already been improved upon or proven wrong or updated or whatever it might be. But I think this is a huge error, because if we never get to a point in, let's say, the field of physics, where we crystallize our thoughts enough to write a textbook, and that textbook, is sort of a summation of the author's understanding and knowledge at that point in time. If we're constantly fluid in that and nothing's ever set, then I would argue that our ability to understand and comprehend the world is damaged, because we never get set enough in our understanding. We never have a foundation knowledge. It's always shifting. And so I talk about this acceleration of change. I think there's things in all this which makes us crazy, and that we as humans maybe just weren't wired for this kind of rapid change. And if that makes me a Luddite, then so be it.
Oh, no, I completely agree with you. Save old books. I mean, I had a piece where I did a conversation, a voice conversation with ChatGPT, and it was a couple weeks after the assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. I said, when was Donald Trump shot? And said, Donald Trump has not been shot. There are no good sources saying that. And it is little moments like that. They could memory hole or do slight changes to classic literature. And so these things shouldn't be allowed to take over all knowledge. In a way, it's still very text biased too. It doesn't have that oral tradition, at least for the time being. And a crazy time, though. And I do agree with you that it very well could be how you say you took somebody from the 1800s, they wouldn't even recognize the United States of America. Somebody from the 1950s now who's still living won't recognize America in the next decade or so. It might be that rapid of a change.
Right. And the question is, just because you can do something, should you? And you can apply that to nuclear weapons. You can apply that to some of the technology that's coming out that's going to allow people to select certain fertilized eggs for their, because they know that it doesn't have certain markers for certain diseases, or they want certain attributes in their child, a certain hair color, a certain height, a certain eye color. I mean, there's lots of things we can do. It doesn't mean we should.
People need to reread. What's that chapter in Genesis about the Tower of Babel? I appreciate the time as always, Jeff. I really do. If folks want to check out what you're writing about, think about, how can they do so?
Please follow me on X, as they now call it, just all one word, at Jeff Dice.
Thanks, Jeff. Do it again soon.
Thank you, Joey.
Always good having that guy on. He's smart.
Man, can we talk him into running for office?
I don't know if he wants to put himself through that.
I mean, that's the kind of people we need. People like him.
Oh yeah, but that's what's so crazy to me is that you have the banality and the frustration of looking at our politics and like the incentive structure of how Washington D.C. in particular works. And then you have like all this crazy innovation happening at the same time. And my hope is people like Elon, but Elon's a proxy, like all these great innovators, maybe folks you don't even know their name yet, will be so innovative that it will make all this stuck in the mud problems of politics just kind of moot. Like it won't matter as much. We advanced past it to where like that doesn't even matter anymore.
I saw an article yesterday that said that Silicon Valley was quickly developing into the new deep state. So I think that kind of hits on your...
Well, Palantir in particular, a lot of people are worried about. We talked about it with Troy Carrico on Monday a little bit. Palantir is not the one that's collecting stuff. They've been collecting stuff on everybody, especially as the Snowden leak showed, for a long, long time. Other great whistleblowers came out who helped build the initial tool, like William Binney, Thomas Drake, the initial tools for the National Security Agency and for collecting all this metadata, collecting all this information, these huge like data storage facilities. And then of course, like the meta plant or the metadata center that will be here in Montgomery. I wonder how much of a hookup the intelligence community has with all of Meta's, say, information.
I think it goes hand in glove.
Yes, I think it has for a long time with all your telecoms and all your big tech folks. Palantir is the company that has stepped in and said, we have created essentially AI-capable software that can sort through this massive amount of data. Because that can be an issue. You have all this data, but how do you read it? How do you know to sift through it? How can you do it swiftly and accurately? And so it sounds like what they've spun up is, say, all of a sudden Joey Clark is now a national security threat. God forbid. It's like, I'm just on mission chill, guys. I don't want any of all that. You're not going to find any pitchfork in my hand or anything. Well, for the time being. Let's say like I'm a problem. They could spin up a dossier like that just immediately. And probably know things about me I don't know about myself. That's how much information they're gathering. Think about it. You just go and live your life. And every time you're interacting now with the car, newer cars, your phone, like all the stuff, you're shopping, all this stuff, you're just going through, each day, each hour, and like you're doing the things you do. Very rarely do people step back and try to examine their entire life, like from all the data they've produced. So you'll probably find things about yourself, or they'll find things about you that you wouldn't even know.
So I'm going to double down now on like we as citizens, consumers, producers of data, like that's valuable to the system.
Well, and there are ways this is going to be the future, but there are ways to make sure that future ain't dystopian or just downright evil. Some of that could be, say it gets so productive the robots are doing most everything. Well, how do people live? What's a fair way? And some of this could be data. In fact, there's the idea that the robots will need people to actually understand what they need to do. At the end of the day,
I don't buy that. I just don't think it's going to happen from like, I'm not convinced that we ever actually fully get quantum. Like to me that almost seems...
they're very, it's speeding up, but it's nowhere near what they need to do.
Where I think humans win the impending robot war is just logistics. Like, I think we wake up and, I'm
not even saying a robot war. I'm saying, like, say you have all these AI agents, you have all these robots doing stuff. Like, how does a person get the currency or the money to go and, like, just live life? Like, is it a universal basic income thing, or is it more you work for certain folks and it's like a community you join and you get a little stipend? Or maybe your job is you literally are a data creation machine. You're showing this is what human interest is, and it points the machine towards, this is what human beings want. You're kind of like, you're picking and choosing informs the larger systems, and you get essentially a stipend. This is your point, that people should be paid for the data that's being used, that they produce.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that actually could be part of it.
Being gathered, without compensation.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we don't check boxes like, I'm turning this
And I
in.
guess their argument is, well, the service we're providing is free. So, and you agreed to it. But who reads those things actually before they check that box?
I want to kind of hit a tangent. I saw an interesting podcast, I guess, yesterday or the day before, but they were talking about how there may be an AI for consumers and then a more robust AI for government. And for security.
I think that's already happening.
Right. I kind of thought that made a lot of sense too. So as far as us being able to cook up stuff and use it against people and manipulate things that way, I think that in future Congresses, you're going to see warning labels or efforts to stop that more so than on individual platforms, social media, things like that.
Well, and I would say that people still need to be in charge of these things. And I don't, like most things, the government should not be the only source of control on AI. Mm-hmm. You probably need different, say, hubs and centers of control that can compete with one another. The idea that the government would control every aspect of the AI is
you have the
unnerving.
leaders at the field right now saying they don't even know where it's going, and
Oh,
we're
sure.
going to trust the government to regulate this in a safe
Well,
way.
and either way, the government's going to be stepping in on this. But listening to David Sachs, the current AI czar for Trump, he said the Biden approach really was this onerous level of regulation to essentially create a de facto big three, and that big three would be beholden to the government. Whereas their approach, and they're trying to stop the states because they want to speed up innovation.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to do this light touch regulation at the federal level, like basic guardrails, and there are some that clearly need to be there, and then kind of let it rip. Don't try to control the outcome because we don't know where the outcome is. Nobody knows where this is going. So don't try to control an outcome that you have no idea, you're ignorant of.
Yeah, but
that everybody's ignorant
to me, I mean, if Mississippi wants to enact legislation
Mm-hmm.
to try to limit AI or to put more guardrails up, then I think Mississippi should be allowed to do that. And the analogy that I can come up with off the top of my head, they can try to prevent the rain and, go out there and stand with an umbrella, but it's still going to rain.
Sure.
So, they can try all they want, but it's going to happen. They can try to provide a better environment under the umbrella for their people, but it's still coming down regardless.
Well, maybe the AIs and the robots get so good that we just go whitewater rafting all the live long day.
Or is
go climb the ropes?
What was the Democrat?
Go ride the zip line?
What was it the Democrat said about why we should let more migrants in? Because who else is going to wipe your butt if we cut off?
Who's going to clean the toilet or something like that?
I'm pretty certain she said wipe your butt.
Wipe your butt. I don't have anybody to wipe my butt. I think I can do that myself.
If you have a good toilet, you probably could.
Just saying, there's some things I want to do for myself. I mean, I don't want to automate everything. What, am I going to get a robot to... You can't even play with yourself anymore in this world. You got to have a robot for everything. Hey, this part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. And they're Cole Plumbing. They are ready to help you with any and all of your plumbing needs. And of course, that could be, everyday problems, low water pressure, or clogged drain. You want to, say, add a new accessory to the kitchen or the bathroom. Could be a bigger upgrade, like a tankless water heater system or just a new water heater in general. Or it could be a big problem, like a big leak inside the house, big leak outside the house. Well, they have the technology to do it with precision and expertise without making a big old mess, like digging a huge trench or hole in your yard or tearing out a bunch of drywall. No, they can, again, do it with precision and expertise with minimal discomfort to you and your home. You'll check them out today. That's, again, Cole Plumbing. Call them at 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole.
We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdis. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
It's only one day only. PSC Equipment in Raymer is having their biggest clearance sale ever. They must make space for incoming new arrivals. Saturday, June 14th, no reasonable offer will be refused on all in-stock inventory. Cattle, horse, livestock, and equipment trailers by Good Guys, Viper, Duralite, and even a Rising enclosed trailers. Used tractors, new Solus tractors, industrial, commercial, and farming equipment, skid steers, excavators, side-by-sides, and yes, we have on-site financing available. Plus, we not only sell, we buy and trade too. Be at PSC Equipment Saturday, June 14th for prizes including $500 cash, $500 store credit, even a family vacation, and they'll even feed you from the Choo Choo Food Trailer. One day and one day only. PSC Equipment's biggest clearance sale ever. Saturday, June 14th from 7:30 until the last customer is served. PSC Equipment, Troy Highway in Raymer, near Sykes & Kahn.
Independent Glass has been your one-stop shop for all things glass since 1978. They offer a full range of architectural products, and they're armed with the knowledge and expertise to get even the most demanding job done, big or small. Attention to detail, 24-hour replacement services, and their uncompromising commitment to excellence is why Montgomery's first choice for all things glass is Independent Glass. Call them today at 263-2823 and learn more about what they can do for you at independentglassco.com.
This is Jim Smith with Adams Drugs. Adams Drugs has been advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting for over a decade and have gone from 7 stores to 12 stores. We attribute our success for what they've done for us. Thank you, Blue Water Broadcasting.
Radio reaches over 90% of everyone in the river region. Shouldn't your ads be out there where your customers are? Call us to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We're getting into a very typical summertime pattern that's going to seem more and more repetitive. Partial sunshine today with increasing humidity. And once again today, pop-up showers and storms in the afternoon and evening hours. They will be random and it'll be feast or famine. Some neighborhoods get drenched, others stay completely dry. High temperatures today and tomorrow in the upper 80s at least. Lows at night will be around 70, lots of humidity. Then over the weekend, the number of storms actually increases. They will still be random, but your probability of seeing one is better Saturday and Sunday, and also Monday. Some of the storms strong to severe, especially on Saturday with a level 2 severe weather risk. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More is your low price leader for everything you need for flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies. For the best prices on luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, flooring installation supplies, and more, shop Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Pamela now in the studio.
Uh-oh. Pardon me.
How are you doing?
Doing good. How about you?
Good. Byron Sheehy's still here. And we got Duke on the phone. Duke, before you get going here, how you doing though today, Duke?
How you doing, sir?
I'm all right. It's been all over the place, local stuff, and then of course the big fight between Trump and Musk. But
I'm gonna get to that in 1 second, sir.
But can I give you this big bomb on between Trump and Musk?
Don't give me something.
This was about 30 minutes ago. Elon Musk tweeted this: "Time to drop the really big bomb. At real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files.
Oh.
That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT."
He didn't say that, did he?
He said it. I went to Musk's own account. Holy crap!
Let me get to Miss Musk because it's something that it's been slipping my mind for several weeks now. I need a favor from you, Joey. I need how easy could it be for you to get me one of the Pope hats?
Pope hat?
Yeah, I want one of the Pope hats.
I don't have an inside track to the Pope hat.
You don't have no pull in the Catholic Church to get me one of those Pope hats. I just want one of those hats.
No, man, I'm still a prodigal son. I mean, if I could get you a Pope hat, I would get you a Pope hat.
I don't want to get you in trouble, where you had to stand before the guy behind the curtain, who the guy, the father? Y'all call him the father or something you had to talk to.
Like the priest, all the priests are called Father so-and-so, Father this.
Yeah, you had to talk to him behind the curtain or whatever he hid from you, laughing behind your back, all this stuff you folks be telling. I thought you had some pool, man, to help me out. I've been wanting one of those hats for some reason,
Well, I just found a website called the Village Hat Shop out of San Diego, and they sell a Pope hat for about $35.
Get me one of them. I just want to stand in the mirror for a little while and just look at it, see how it looks. I might not never wear it again,
Well,
I just want to see how it looks.
Well, I think, yeah.
I got a hot top shaped head, I want to just see how it sit on top of my old head.
No, I think it would look good.
Okay.
Yeah, we should start a whitewater rafting team, and we wear Pope hats and we compete.
Look like courts.
Well, back to my boy here. Elon in the house, boy.
Elon is not backing down.
That was 35 minutes ago, and it has 57,000 comments on that.
Well, because Trump kept going after him, saying we showed him the bill and he didn't and Elon's like, none of this is true. And I told you it's not fair, but I don't care at the end of the day about the mandate.
Elon said, I'm the reason you got in the White House, boy, to start with.
Oh, yeah.
This boy throwing some stuff out there, ain't it, boy? Dang. How they gonna handle Elon? How they gonna handle this cat, Mr. Joey?
I don't know. I think we just watch and eat our popcorn and let it play out.
This a money guy here. He can make some stuff. He can say some stuff. Now he might tell some stuff they don't want told. Now come on.
Yeah, Trump said the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's government subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it.
Billions?
I tell you what to help him out.
No, most of that money is to SpaceX, which the U.S. government would be screwed if they didn't have SpaceX.
I thought it was Starlink.
Yeah, Starlink is one part of the whole SpaceX nexus.
I didn't realize.
They mad about something, boy. They got them worked up, bro. But I tell you what'll help them out. If they come down to the state of Alabama and make connections with these people that block the marijuana bill and the gambling bill and all that stuff and all this other stuff, find out who got the deep pocket and making, okay, they can't do that to Elon. I'm sorry. He got money already. I'm sorry.
Well, I appreciate the call, Duke. I'm going to run here. Appreciate it, man.
All right.
Yeah, okay, so we're talking about a bunch of other stuff. Trump fires at Elon saying, Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy. Elon responded, such an obvious lie, so sad.
Yeah.
Then Trump said, we should take away Elon's billions and billions. Somebody responded to that saying this would end the International Space Station and simultaneously provide no way to safely deorbit it. Elon responded to that saying, this just gets better and better. Laugh emoji. Go ahead. Make my day, ... And then shortly after that, again, I repeat myself, Elon posts this, folks. Time to drop the really big bomb. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT.
It's been seen by 19 million people.
Holy crap.
So the list of people that circulated at the beginning of the year, where did that supposedly come from? Because I know we say that they haven't been released, but there have been a few sources on the interwebs that have the exact same list.
Was that the logs that came out years ago?
Yeah, they're flight logs that were released years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. There's more.
But he wasn't on those.
No, I believe he was on that. Clinton was on that.
Clinton definitely was multiple times.
Yeah, Trump said he let me use it. He let me borrow the plane or something.
But he didn't go to the island.
Right.
But like Stephen Hawking was on that list.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something tells me Stephen wasn't doing anything too risky.
I don't know.
Maybe some cartwheels or willies. But.
It's just to see this escalate quickly.
Yeah. Ugh.
No, and I'm sorry. I'm with the guy who's actually innovating the future.
That's what I said. Like, he's pissed off.
Yeah, and
He
rightfully
had
so.
Honest conviction and was doing what he thought was right, and then they just spit in his face.
How much of them like squashing all the Doge stuff do you think might be because if we can find that out, we should, in theory, be able to find out where all the money's going?
Exactly.
And
That's
when we find
exactly
out
it.
where all the
Exactly.
money's going, like how much of the budget do you really think is black budgeted? 10%?
Oh, it's hard to know.
Yeah.
It really is hard to know.
Not even close to all of it, I wouldn't say.
But
yeah.
I mean, think about how much that is and all the asinine or really dastardly dirty things that
Yeah.
is used for.
But I'm just kind of taking this all in. I'm on Team Elon on this one.
I know,
Sorry,
I'm in
boomers.
shock.
Do you think there's a little bit of a generational thing here? That Trump has a huge audience,
Yeah.
but I think it's like cat turd.
Yeah.
You know, it's people of a certain age, and then Elon has a lot of backers, and I
Yeah.
find it's usually younger folks, millennials and younger.
Yes.
I think it's probably more ideological.
That too,
Yeah.
for sure.
I think your
Well, and how obsessed is a person with politics?
sycophants are going to line up and drink the Kool-Aid, and
Mhm.
you know, information gatherers or open-minded people are going to want to see facts.
Well,
That's
it's just
true.
like this thing, like, oh, the podcast didn't matter and Elon didn't make a difference and all this stuff. It's like, okay, well, we're about to see.
Right.
You want to poke the bear, Mr. President? Like, let's
Yeah.
see once this percolates to Rogan and all these other podcasts Trump
Right.
himself went on.
We're about to find out if Trump is really deep state.
What a time to be alive. And maybe it's all just an AI nightmare. Who knows? Hey, this part of the program brought to you by Dylan Rings. And they're Dylan Rings. Josh and Leslie ready to help you out as a full-service jewelry shop. Whether you're looking for custom-made pieces made by Josh, the guy's a true artist. He can, say, retrofit something, or if it's just a dream he had, he can make it a reality. Of course, they have a great selection Leslie puts together. They both put together the high-end to everyday jewelry. All looks great. All is beautiful. And, of course, they can do spa treatments, repairs, They will buy old jewelry, gold, silver, platinum that you just have laying around that's broken, you don't care about anymore.
Silver 13-year high today.
Yeah, I like that.
Rush out, go see him.
So y'all check them out today. Get by there. 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie that Joey, that fellow on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
No one wants to wait on service for an overhead door. With 20 years in the industry, you now have access to the best with All Access Overhead Door. All Access Overhead Doors offers prompt professional service at affordable prices on all service and new garage doors for residential and commercial locations. All Access Overhead Door serves the river region and can take care of whatever you need when it comes to your overhead door. Remember, you have access to the best. All Access Overhead Door. Call and schedule an appointment today. 320-2440. And like them on Facebook. They sell the best and service the rest.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. This part of the program brought to you by Prattville Carpet. And their Prattville Carpet, they're ready to help you with any resurface job. Could be a brand new carpet you want to lay down, traditional hardwood. I like the LVP, the luxury vinyl plank. Looks like traditional hardwood, a little more forgiving in terms of cleaning, and it's just softer on your feet. Softer when you step on it.
Oh, that looks like wood.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Super
stuff's
nice.
cool. They can do ceramic tile as kitchen, bathroom. The new epoxy floors they do.
Oh, I love that too.
Very
love
cool stuff.
That.
Very, very cool stuff. So y'all just call them up. Get a free in-home measurement, 285-8117. Same number as always, 285-8117. And be sure to tell them that, well, Joey, that fella on the radio, sent you. So what did we learn today? That, man, tomorrow's show's going to be a lot of fun with Eddie and Craig. I know y'all got the little teaser here of this.
Yeah.
Happy hour is going to be a humdinger.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if Greg would have seen that yet, though.
Well, I don't know. Like, this is going to divide. This is going to create houses, like house divided.
Big time.
Like, oh my God.
He's not going to be able to miss this. I mean, it's going to be everywhere on social in about 15 seconds.
He probably has been listening to you on the way here and heard it anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's Bridget Fedesi saying the most ironic thing is the most likely to happen. Elon will be banning Trump from X.
You got to stay here.
Nice quiet day on the internet. Natalie, who I love so much. Natalie on X, awesome lady. She saying never deleting this app, sharing again.
Mm-hmm.
Elon's dropping the bomb. You're in the Epstein files. That's why you won't release them. Yeah. Like, and I don't think we'll see. If this is going to be a generational divide. It really is.
It's up to 23 million views now.
What was the last number you said?
19.
19.
Well, and
approximately 5 minutes ago.
And I'm sure you've heard about, like, if y'all have read the Musk biography Walter Isaacson did, a key through point of that book is Elon has a thing called demon mode.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
People call it demon mode.
Yeah.
Because he cannot be backed down. He is not going to be reasoned with, and he is hardcore about it. Like, he is vicious.
I like it.
I think we call that FAFO.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly.
But Trump is also vicious when he needs to be.
Yeah, but he comes off like petty and
We'll see.
Elon is just straight up vicious. He's the big dog in this fight, I think.
Well, what really sold me is the Bitcoin stuff and Doge and the peace. Like, make peace, Mr. President, but whatever, why'd you leash Doge? Like, are you serious about this whole AI crypto thing? Like, what are we doing here?
I don't think Trump leashed Doge. I think that was on the Congress side.
It's starting to sound like Trump leashed them.
Probably,
just from the stuff Trump's dropping today.
I think
we'll see how things shake out.
Some deals struck.
Well, I don't really have time for any more calls. I apologize, everybody calling in. This will definitely go into happy hour. And honestly, I love you all the same, whether you're on Team Trump or Team Elon in this moment.
I'm just saying, as a young millennial who mostly I get my information on X, this back and forth has everybody's attention. And most of the folks on the platform are like, go Elon.
Mm-hmm.
So honeymoon's definitely over.
Yeah.
Divorce is on the table.
Oh, gosh.
Irreconcilable differences.
Well, and MAGA was always this coalition, this coalition of competing interests, and the common cause was, man, the Democrats suck and Biden and Kamala suck. But maybe these faults were always baked into the cake.
We held it together to get through election day. And at least that lady is not president. And I use lady very loosely.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Folks are already putting it out there. Are you on Team Musk or Team Trump? And it's Elon with a black Doge hat, and it's Trump with his Make America Great Again hat. Wow. And Elon's retweeting old tweets of Trump. Yeah. No member of Congress should be eligible for re-election if our country's budget is not balanced. Deficits not allowed. Trump tweeted that in 2012.
And no voter
love
in
it.
2025 remembers it.
Man, what a time. Tomorrow's show.
He has a team to dig through all that, too. He's like,
yeah,
you guys get me all this.
You know how Antonio Brown picks up of the day?
Yeah.
It's Elon with the blunt.
Oh, my gosh.
God bless Antonio Brown. That guy's freaking hilarious.
He's one of the few people who actually had a horrible reputation leaving the league and somehow managed to take his crazy and brand and package it in a way that's palatable to people.
Yeah. A little redeeming story there.
Y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour is next. Woo, what a day.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM.